Yahoo! Hi. It's been a minute. Hi, how are you doing? What's good in your world? Tell me everything. Okay, that was a bit much. Let's not do all that now. That's a bit excessive. That there's no need for all that. I'm just feeling a little whimsical. Just got off. Oh, you just got off. You got off. Yeah, you got off. You clocked out of your. It's so hard to censor it in a way that like I censor the middle, but you can still hear the beginning and end. You got Pape. I think we have to introduce a new censor. Yeah, you got the Pape. Oh, you got yourself a Pape. Oh, you successfully purchased a Pape just like everybody else. Oh my god. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. I may never live this down. I genuinely laid in bed for like 20 minutes last night. Just like, you know, holding a fetal position, holding my knees up to my chest. Like, just really just relishing that humiliation. I was like, oh, no. It was embarrassing. It was bad. That was really bad. Like, oh my goodness. It was so bad. Oh my goodness. How was I supposed to know? Listen, I blame the people. All right, I blame the people. I blame you. You made me think it was gonna be gone in 2 minutes. I think it's still fully stocked. Yeah, I blame you. I blame you. Okay, yeah, no, I should be clear. 2 things. There are 2 things that I'm embarrassed about. The first thing, which I'm blaming on you, which I'm blaming on the people. The first thing is the fact that everybody made it sound like there was going to be a bloodbath for the Pape. But there's enough to go around, actually. Like, they stocked it real good this time. So I blame the people. Secondly, I don't blame anybody but myself for that second thing. The second thing I'm embarrassed about is that I fought in that non-existent battle, not realizing that I could just ask the company and they would give me all 4 Pape for free. I didn't know I could get stuff for the... Hey, this is actually a great... I'm so glad this happened. I'm going to be so for real. I'm so glad this happened because I was fully prepared to buy the other 3 for every merchandise series forever after, just for the rest of our careers. I was fully prepared to buy the other 3 every single time. And now I know I don't have to. I can just be like, hey, can I have the other 3 too? And they'll say, yeah, Kaelix, you can have them. How did I not think to ask? I don't know. Well, I asked at one point. I guess I didn't ask specifically enough. And I don't know. I'm a bit of a... I'm not personally the type with the mindset of like, I'm going to get every single thing I can. I'm going to ask for everything possible. When I asked in the past, I was like, oh, by the way, do I get merchandise as it comes out? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you yours. And I was like, yay. And I was like, oh, this is already more than because, you know, I set my expectation value at 0 for pretty much everything. I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to get it. So the fact that I got my stuff, like the merchandise made of me, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice bonus. That's a nice bonus. Yeah, so I gotta say thank you, Q Wilson. Yeah, big shouts out to you, Q Wilson, for publicly telling me that I could have just asked the company for all 4 of them. And now I know. And you know what? I already bought them, but I think I'm gonna ask for them anyway. I'll have 2. I'll have 1 for display and 1 for travel. That way I can have them with me everywhere. It's bad. That's embarrassing, right? Yeah, I bought all 3 of the other ones. Honestly, I might as well have just bought another of mine too while I was at it. And you know the worst part? Because shipping is suspended to the States, I'm not gonna see that for 10 years. I may never see it. What if things never change? I may never see that Pape. It may never touch my my mailbox. It may never reach me. I may never see those Pape. I'm humiliated, frankly. I am humiliated. Glad we didn't overreact. Yeah, I'm glad nobody overreacted. I'm glad everybody had a very normal and composed reaction. I work there. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't want to expect it. I didn't want to expect that I got that, you know? It's free stuff. I feel like that's such an entitled mindset to have. I don't know. That's just me though. I was like, I don't mind. I don't mind. I just want all of them. I want to have everybody together. So yeah, trust and believe every single merchandise release from now to the entire future, the entire span of our careers, I'll be getting all 4 for free. Ha ha! Pointing at you. Ha ha! I get them for free. Ha ha! Point and laugh at everybody who has to pay. Ha ha ha! I get them all for free. Ha ha ha! And you don't. Ha ha ha! That's so goofy. That is so goofy. Just kidding. Nante ne. Still don't get him anyways. Well, actually I might. I'm not actually sure what that situation is gonna be. Because they send merchandise and stuff along with fan letters. I've gotten 1 package of those so far. Though they also recently introduced a new feature for the fan letters, where I actually get them in advance before receiving them physically now as well. I don't know if any other livers have mentioned this, but now we actually also get like a digital version of every physical letter that's been sent. They like scan it and they put it in a folder for us. It's really, really cool. So I've been able to catch up on fan mail before it reaches me. That being said, there is nothing quite like having it in my hands, you know, so I really look forward to it. In the most recent batch that was uploaded digitally, I saw there were a couple really cute drawings included in there, and I'm really excited. I want to put them up on a little cork board, maybe. And in the first batch that I did get physically, it was really cute. There was one that made it, they made this piece of art, and it was like, I think it's actually in 4 pieces. I thought that was really cute. Like, I got 1 out of 4, and I assumed that the other 3 went to the other guys. I thought that was really sweet. I love fan mail. It makes me so happy. I love receiving letters. I've always loved letters. I love writing them too. I've had a couple pen pals over the years. I kind of miss that. I miss writing letters and receiving them more regularly. So getting letters from you kind of reignites that excitement for me. Yeah, I won the Pape battle, TLDR. I won, and so did everybody else who even cared to participate. Like everybody won. There's no battle. It's basically just a giveaway. Go grab it. Feel free. It's still there, probably. I haven't checked. Hold on. Let's see. Let's have a look. NIJISANJI by the beat, half anniversary. How's it looking? Yeah, fully in stock. All 4 of them. Oh, yeah, here, let me unpin this message. Half anniversary merchandise available. Boom. There you go. Feel free to check it out. Feel free to check out the other stuff as well too. Frio's mama designed the outfits that we're in. Really, really cute. I thought it was really fun. At least you have extra Pape in case you lose one. Not based off personal experience or anything. Honestly, I think it is a good thing to have an extra. I think in the future, whenever we hang out together in person, I kind of wanna bring all 4 just in case anybody else leaves them, because it could be cute to have them for whatever we need them for, just in case. And then in any case, if I just travel on my own, I can bring them with me, and it's like I got my squad together. Yeah. Yeah, that was yesterday's debacle. I publicly humiliated myself participating in the mass hysteria believing in sincerity that there was going to be a limited stock and that everybody was going to sell it out within an hour or less. And it was really embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. I'm never participating in mass hysteria ever again. The company's got it. They stocked so much. Here to celebrate your half-year anniversary. Next year, I guess I'll have to prepare a project for you. You promise? Tucking my hair behind my ear. Thank you so much again for Koznichi. That was a really fun time. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, and I got to see some of the details for the upcoming project too, right? I think those were publicly released. It's really exciting. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see how that goes, to hear everything. Yippee! Always ask if they're gonna be... You know, I really can ask if they're gonna be limited stock, like usual. I really could. I could have asked. There are so many things that I could ask internal staff and probably get a good answer on. I could probably ask them so many things. I just don't. It's kind of like a... I almost forget that I'm not one of you. Do you know what I mean by that? That's such a weird way to put it, but genuinely, I forget sometimes that I'm not just like... I'm not just... you know, like I'm here. I forget sometimes. Oomphood is not mutually exclusive. I forgot. Bro, genuinely forgot. I literally work here. Oh my goodness. So goofy. Oh my goodness. Crack me up. I literally work here. Did I get the acrylic stands too? Almost did. I almost did. I figured I'd have more time to get those, so I need you to know I was with you. I was doing it too. I was practicing finishing the order quickly. I was setting up my autocomplete and everything so I could get it done like sub 1 minute. Ideally just a small handful of seconds. I was in there practicing. I was doing my reps to get my Pape purchase locked in as fast as possible. They're still fully in stock. It's been a full day and they're still there. I did not have to do all that. Yeah, no, I assumed from the beginning that I would have more time on the other merchandise. So now that I know I can just get everything for free, I'm just gonna ask for everybody else for free. I'm gonna get all four. I'm gonna put the little keychains. I'm gonna put the little keychains on my cork board. And I'm gonna display the towels on my wall, on the hallway leading to my bedroom. And I'm gonna put the acrylic standees on a pedestal in the center of my living room, and I'm gonna display a little light overhead. And I'm gonna... Whoa, what else is there? I'm gonna put the little plates in my kitchen, and I'm gonna eat chicken nuggets on them with ketchup. I want to get the little plates. I hope you like the little plates, by the way. I saw people were like, oh my gosh, why are they doing plates? That was actually an idea from us. We thought that it would be nice to like have something to display merchandise on. I don't know. We thought about like what kind of easy but still unique extra things we could throw in there. We were like, yeah, maybe if we do plates, we could like, that way you could like take pictures of things on the plates. That was our line of thinking. But you could also eat off of them if you want, or you could display it however you want if you get it. Yeah. But yeah, that was our thought. Plates for serving because you serve. That was a good one. We do serve, don't we? Also got your puppet. Can't wait to receive it. Take lots of photos. Yippee! That's what I look forward to most of all. Is like when I think the puppets for people that set up shipping, or like were able to set up shipping. I think those are due December, right? That's when they should start shipping out. So you should receive it like December, January, depending on where you live. I really look forward to that. It'll be like real Christmas for Kaelix. It'll be Christmas for me. It'll be like Christmas morning, waking up and checking social media to see all the situations they're putting the Kaelix Pape in. I want to see that so bad. I want to see what you do to him. You got 2 sets? I think I might go in and add mine to my order. Might as well have 2 of all, because now here's the thing. Now I'm gonna have 2 of the other 3, but only 1 of mine. Because of the way that worked out. Oh my goodness. I can be a little goofy. I don't. What we do to him? What else would we do to him? Oh, we've had this conversation. Don't worry. It's kind of, they're not really feuding parties. They're not against each other, but they're very divided in terms of the way they like to treat me and the things they want to do to me. Just as far as my personal observation goes, I have observed that half of the population wants to give me, like, they want to pet my head and read me a bedtime story and make me 3 meals a day and just pamper and spoil. And then the rest of them, they want to beat me up within an inch of my life and just put a big bump on my head and then dangle me upside down over an active volcano. Those are the 2 parties, the 2 flavors of Debonair. And then because, you know, a Debonair can never make a clean binary decision, there's also people that just oscillate between both. You know, you can never... Yeah, you see, you're proving exactly what I'm saying here. A Debonair can never make a clean decision between 2 choices. You gotta have both. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you always need that secret third thing. Anyway, I got distracted. We can continue chatting as we get into the main activity for today, but I do need to start because we are on a time limit, technically speaking, and I don't know how long it'll take me to get everything ready. But a couple things to note about today. For today's stream, or maybe I should go in reverse order. Maybe that would make more sense. No, I'll just start in chronological order. So for today's stream, the one we're doing right now, I will be talking about my plans for VCraft Enchanted, which I was previously not sure if I wanted to join. And to be honest, I had a moment where I was like, I really don't want to join. I'm so scared. And so I made a skin, and I posted a picture of the skin because my theory was that if I did that, it would lock me in, and I would have no choice but to commit. So that's my way of holding myself accountable and making sure it happens, because I really want to do it. I just get so nervous. I get so nervous when it's that many people I don't know at once. I don't know. I feel like I come off as a bit of an extrovert because I'm very sociable. And I love to meet new people, but the more of them there are, the more I'm gonna just like start freaking out. It activates my I'm about to kill everybody disease when people are a little too loud for a little too long. But yeah. I decided to lock in and do that. So today we'll be figuring out my character. I might even doodle him a little bit. That's actually my plan. I want to doodle him a little bit, figure out, like give you some cleaner details for the outfit, since I went ahead and designed my own this time. I actually used to love making Minecraft skins, so pretty fun. It was pretty fun to go back to that and make another one for the first time in a billion years. Yeah, I'll do that. And then around, I think it's 11 EDT, right? I will wrap before 11 EDT, maybe right on time if I time it right. Maybe just a little bit before, so I have some time to get everything ready for the thing that comes after. But around 11, there will actually be a cover release. My first group cover in a while. First cover in general in a while. To be honest, I don't upload as many of those as I really want to. I'm doing my best to figure things out so I can upload more in the future, by the way. But yeah. I'll be in a group cover of Konton Boogie, featuring like alongside the other members of Abagadweab. Rest in peace. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we I'm sure you may know already because it's been done a couple of times, but you can actually sing with a liver after they've graduated under specific circumstances. So we were actually planning this cover before Reimu graduated. We were planning it for a while. I feel like if we planned one the moment she graduated, specifically for this, we probably would have chosen something a lot more emo. You know what I mean? I feel like we would have gone with like a ballad or something. So I'm kind of glad that we didn't, because I think this is like better energy. You know what I mean? I won't cry when I listen to it. But yeah, we were planning this before. We started, honestly, we started planning a cover pretty much after the very first collab we had. We just kind of, we clicked and we were like, we want to sing together. So this is the cover we were planning. We did have to cram a bit to pull it together last minute. You may have noticed me and Zeal were on the audio. So that's pretty fun. I'm very proud of it. Everybody worked really, really hard to get it done in time, and I'm very, very thankful that we could sing together at least once as a group of 4. So I hope you can look forward to it. So that is when I'll wrap the stream, around then or a little before then, and I should be able to redirect into it because it's a premiere. And then after that, immediately after that, I think maybe there will be a little bit of waiting time. We'll have an after party, unfortunately, with just 3 out of 4 of Abagadwiab. Zeal, Maria, and I will hang out a bit. We'll talk a bit about the cover. Just talk in general. We don't really have an itinerary. We didn't plan any topics or anything. But yeah, that's what that'll be. I can't say exactly how long that'll be, but yeah, that'll be the game plan for today. I'm making a point to like name all the streams for today because I haven't been able to publish a schedule yet. I'll tell you a bit more about this later, but I have my schedule for the week mostly figured out. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on one little thing. I'm waiting on confirmation for one thing. Then I can lock it in and publish it. I don't want to publish it and then be like, actually, never mind. Sorry. I appreciate your patience. I'll do my best to let you know in words for like what other streams will be. It's honestly probably just going to be a bunch of Minecraft though. But yeah, let's get started on the stream for today. I spent a little too much time talking. Let's lock in. Whoa. So, we are not playing Stardew Valley. We are not playing Stardew Valley. Where is this? Get me that. Hold on. I gotta move my keyboard. My keyboard. Okay. Who is Calvin? Boom. All right. Yeah, I want to doodle him a little bit today. I want to figure out some details about his character, establish a game plan for what I want to do with him. Because for now, I just have a pretty vague concept. And honestly, I may just keep it vague in the end. I may keep it really vague because I think it's good to have a direction, but being open means that you can try more new things out. And there was a lot that I didn't really touch at all in the first Enchanted because I was only able to play after everybody else had moved on and stopped. So that's the big reason I really wanted to play, even if I'm nervous. I wanted to experience this this kind of server when everybody's active. So I will be playing as a little guy named. Oh, hold on, we should doodle him first. A little guy named Calvin, and he is a homunculus. I'll give you a little doodle. He looks a lot like me. But it's important to note that he is not me. All right, he's different. He's a different guy. We did not break RP. We remain immersed always. We are immersed around here. We do immersion around these parts. Boom. That's my hair. And then I always struggle with this specific line right here. But I love to have like a nice little cute round face. All right. There we go. Nice. Nice one. Okay. So he looks just like me on the top. It's because I'm acting. You know how a character just kind of looks like whatever their actor looks like? I'll be acting as Calvin. I'll start getting into details once I can get a little face on here. Boom. Nah, I'll give him bigger eyes. How about like that? Though I used to, oh my gosh. You never really seen me draw like this before, I think. Like when I do a more sketchy style, but I used to be obsessed with doing like eyes like this. Hold on. When I was younger, this is how I drew eyes. Whoa. I drew them like this. This is how I like to draw eyes. And I always love doing like this kind of... Boom. Oh, hi, Uki. You're too nice to me. You're too sweet. I'm so excited to play VCraft with you, Oogie. I was really happy when we got to interact a little bit on Enchanted 1. Even if like all the excitement had already died. By that point, it made me really happy that you came on to say hi to me, even though nobody was playing anymore. Make his eye a little smaller. The real hack for getting symmetrical eyes is actually to draw them not like this, but rather to draw them like this. Fun hack. If you do it like one stage at a time, I'm pretty sure, this is what I was taught by a friend, you're more likely to get eyes that look consistent. This kind of looks like Frio. New Frio just dropped. Anyway. Boom, Calvin. So he is... Well, maybe I should write his name first. He is a homunculus. This is literally all you know, and I've repeated it multiple times now. I almost started writing this in Eorzean, by the way. Because that's all I handwrite anymore, using my tablet. Every time I've pulled out my tablet to write something lately, it's been to write in Eorzean. So I almost started like... How would it be like? Anyway, his concept. This is actually an idea that I was sitting on. I think I mentioned, I can't remember if this was behind members only or if it was in a public stream. But I think I mentioned that I had two ideas that I was teetering between. One where I would be a bit more isolated, and one that would be more like up in the center of activity. In the end, I want to go for the first one, but kind of fuse it a little bit with the second so that I'm not super isolated. So the concept is that Calvin was born in a cauldron. He was invented he was invented by a witch using magic and alchemy. So he doesn't have a belly button because he wasn't born normally. There was no pregnancy or anything like that. And so he's human, but he's also technically distinct and not human. He's something different than human. And he was raised in isolation just by this witch single mother, bossing it up for about 2 decades. And over those years, he was happy. You know, she treated him right. She kept him fed. She taught him things, you know, educated him. But as he grew over those years, he got more and more questions that she would not answer. And by like decade 2, early 20s, he's like, why do I exist? And he's upset about that. And they have a confrontation, and she leaves him there in that tower. And she never comes back. He waits alone for her in this tower forever. And by forever, I mean for like maybe a year or 2. Yeah, very Rapunzel inspired. Very Rapunzel-like concept, right? Like living alone in a tower with a witch who raises you is the kind of idea that I'm going for here. Just, you know, minimally socialized, treated right in a lot of ways, but very sequestered. Specifically because I want this witch to be really wicked. I want her to be evil. I want her to be a bad, bad, bad witch. And I want the world to hate her. Which is why she like seeks the company of a like a man-made, woman-made human child. But yeah, after a couple years of waiting, my thought is that a familiar of hers shows up at the door, which previously would not open. And it tells him that she's perished in battle, and she wants him to live for himself and learn what it means to be human. She wants him to venture out into the world and like learn everything he wasn't able to under her care. Yeah, she's gone. Dead mom. Anime episode 1, dead mother. And then a gate opens and he steps through it and then he's there in VCraft Enchanted. That is my concept. Thoughts? Notes? All right, so I may tweak this a little bit. That's what today is all about. Today is all about figuring out what I change and what I keep. Made by an evil witch. Boom. Surname, the witch's surname? I don't think he has one, and I don't think she has one either. Here's the embarrassing part. I'm trying to phrase it in a really casual way, like I'm just coming up with it on the fly. But in truth, I actually wrote multiple pages of lore. I wrote multiple pages of lore on this idea last week. I don't know. I just think homunculi are really cool, and I've always wanted to do something in a story with a homunculus. Like an artificial human. Yeah, I should clarify that, because some people misunderstand what I mean when I use that word. Because homunculus has had multiple different definitions, depending on the context. Like, in some definitions, people define it the way I do, as like an artificial human, just like a human being that was born in a non-traditional and unnatural way. A human that was invented with alchemy. And then other people think of like the psychology theory that's been debunked a billion times over the course of history, of like a tiny little man in your brain that controls you. Like a smaller self. Just to clarify, I'm talking about the former. Artificial human. Not the latter. Yeah, I wrote multiple pages of lore, and actually most of the lore I wrote was actually about the witch that makes him. My concept for her is that her name is Madeline, but she's called Madeline the Terrible by the people. The concept I have for her, let's draw her. She'll never show up, to be clear. She will never at any point show up in this playthrough. But might as well. Might as well if I'm talking about her, right? So, her name is Madeline. And she grew up in a tiny, tiny village. Super small village with limited resources. Really struggling to get by. Limited trade opportunities. Minimal resources. Like really struggling village. You know what I mean? Tiny, tiny, tiny place. So I should make it similar style to the other one. Tiny, tiny, tiny village. Super poor. You know, they got just enough farm, just enough crops to feed everybody. They might get a little bit of fish, but they're struggling. And one winter in particular, she really struggles. And she's really stricken by how just like dissatisfied she is with her way of life and like the hand that she was dealt. And she sets out to learn as much as she can about everything. She like, I'd say early teens, leaves home. I don't know what kind of hair I want her to have. Maybe I kind of want to do like a braided look like this. I didn't think about what she looked like until now. I kind of want to do braids like this and then have the hair do like this. You see my vision? But yeah, she leaves her village at a young age to learn as much as she can. And among these things, she becomes a master of magic and science and architecture. Her hope is to bring her knowledge back and revitalize her village, and help her family, help her friends, so that they can live a better life, have a better quality of life. But in her pursuit of knowledge, in her unfettered erudition, it's a word that means like learning and knowledge for just the sake of knowledge rather than application. She starts seeking out esoterica, really like niche, hidden stuff, maybe some dangerous stuff even. And she reaches a point where she discovers that there's a way to prolong one's life. And this was a bad moment for her, because she's like, oh, free real estate, that's stocks. If I live longer, I can learn more things and I can help people more, And so she goes out to seek this information out and start figuring out how to actualize that theory, because all she knew was whispers and rumors of this. She wanted to see if it was real. And so she ventures out and she discovers that it can be done, but only if you enter an agreement with a monster, which is one of the greatest and highest taboos in this society. It is like really bad to enter any agreement of any kind, any contract with a monster. Yeah, a pact. I actually, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find this. I went in. I had a moment where I just sat down for a few hours and I wrote a ton. Yeah, I wrote the monsters that she made contracts with. She made contracts with 3 monsters that lost the faith of the people. Because, in this time when she was learning all these things and improving life for people, they loved her. She was a beloved figure. I feel like she'd have like a semi-transparent material for her gown. I feel like she would just be walking around in like nightgown type material. But yeah, the first one was in a deep forest. It was with a monster called the All-Knowing Whisper of the Ancient Wood. She made an agreement with that monster in exchange for a significant amount of blood. She was given some esoteric information. She was given arcane knowledge specifically on the origin of life, like where everything came from, stuff that is not known, stuff that is like usually only theorized. And this is, of all the agreements you could enter with a monster, this one is not too bad in terms of like it doesn't harm anybody, right? And it doesn't really sacrifice your humanity. It just puts it puts you at great risk. And in most cases, it's a trick. It's a scam. The goal of the monster here is to drain enough blood that you just don't live, so you don't actually live to tell anybody that knowledge. But through her efforts, she's actually able to walk out of that contract with the knowledge in tow, living, thriving, But yeah, that's her first contract. Her second is with something deep in the ocean. It's the undying shadow of the bludgeoned ocean, is what I called it. But this one, she exchanged every dream and nightmare she would ever have for the rest of her life. So she's never going to dream again as a result of this contract. She gave that away in exchange for magical powers, like magical potential beyond human capability and comprehension. Because, humans, we got our hard cap, but she wants to go all the way up here, So she traded away every dream and nightmare she would ever have. So when she sleeps, she just sleeps. There's nothing. She may not even need sleep. I haven't really decided that part yet. She may just do it like you know, to emulate that experience. Where would the legs be? Hold on, torso's about here. Start like, yeah. Anyway, I kind of want to do like legs together, you know, like that kind of look, but play them apart a little bit. Anyway, that was the second of 3 contracts with monsters. At this point, people haven't quite recognized what she's doing yet, so she's still in the good graces of the people. In her pursuit of knowledge, they haven't quite figured things out. But her third and final contract was with the Merciless Shiver of the Frozen Isle. This is an island in the middle of the ocean that is just covered edge to edge with ice. With this monster, this is a monster that usually just looking at it is enough to kill you, is my thought. Like a really, really, really dangerous monster that lives in isolation. This monster, she gives it her heart. She gives it her heart. She trades away her heart. And in exchange, it gives her eternal life and eternal youth. It kind of puts her in a stasis. It freezes her. Hence like the frozen isle, right? It freezes her in place. So she never changes again. It locks her in place. So she can, this was like her initial goal, right? Was to never die of age and to never lose her vitality so that she could continue learning forever, right? Downside is that with her heart, she lost her humanity. She lost her humanity. So like those initiatives of wanting to help people and wanting to make her village and the world a better place, she loses these along with her heart, and her motives become increasingly selfish. And by this point, you know, the people have caught on. They know what's going on. And they completely shun her, they ostracize her, and they dub her Madeline the Heartless. Because she's given away her heart. I don't know what kind of shoes I want to give her. Maybe she'd walk around barefoot even. I kind of see her with like a... Hold on, let me do like... Maybe it could be like socks up to here. Sorry, I'm like throwing in design comments as I talk. But yeah, they called her Madeline the Heartless. And she was completely shunned by humanity. She was labeled an enemy of humanity. Yeah, she went in with noble intentions and completely lost who she was. She lost everything of who she was, just a shell of her former self. But powerful and beautiful. And so she's kind of like given up on the people. She never really wanted to help them anymore anyway. So she goes off on her own. She wreaks havoc every now and then. You know, does some bad things. I'm thinking maybe she totals a village or something, or you know, takes out a king. I don't actually know. I haven't thought as much about this part, but my thought is that she's like, if you're gonna view me as a monster, then I might as well use my power without limits. Might as well play test with a body count. So yeah, she does some actually terrible things, and eventually she's like, okay, I've had enough of this. And she, in the middle of a forest, in the middle of a big bustling forest, just dense forest. Not actually too far from her hometown, funny enough. She casts a spell so that those who enter the forest can only become lost and will only find their way back out of the forest. And those that are within a certain radius, if they enter the rest of the forest, they only find themselves back inside. So you can't really go in or out of this area of the forest. Within it, she builds a big witch's tower. Beautiful tower. Maybe it's got like a little well over here or something. I imagine she's got like a vegetable garden over here, growing some vegetables. Flowers everywhere as well. Got a door at the front. And it is in this place that she lives alone for a while. Not exactly how long, because at this point she's immortal, right? So time is meaningless to her. She could idle her time away alone here for centuries even. And she continues pursuing esoteric knowledge. She wants to learn new things. That is her selfish desire. She just wants to learn new things. She doesn't share the things she's learned with anybody anymore. And in that quest, she discovered that in a bygone history, people were trying to learn how to make humans from nothing. I won't explain her true motives here, or I won't like get into her motives because I kind of like thinking that it might be open-ended. I personally don't know exactly what she would do it for, and I like not deciding that because you know, as her creator, I could just decide. But for whatever reason, be it her continued selfish pursuit of knowledge, be it loneliness, be it maternal instinct, she creates a young boy, she creates a baby boy in a cauldron to serve as her thrall, and she dotes on him and raises him for 2 decades. Yeah, and then we got Calvin, who I, funny enough, have next to nothing about. I got really invested in writing about Miss Ma'am over here. Madeline. The Heartless. I don't know if I can do that. Hold on. Boom. Now I got room. Yeah, I ended up writing a bunch about her, even more than I actually just said, but I figured that's enough. Finish the story. Finish the story later, maybe. I just got, I don't know, I started thinking about him, and I was like, okay. A week or 2 ago, I was like, I know that I wanted homunculus. I've wanted to write a homunculus story for a long time. Who made him and why? Okay, this is enchanted, so probably a witch. Okay, why would a witch make a homunculus? Because she wanted to see if it was possible. Why would she become the kind of person that wanted to just do something crazy like that just to see if it was possible? And that's how that developed. So she is mother. And she's also mother. TM. All right. Let's give him a look. Let's give him a look. So for Calvin, hold on. I should actually pull up, and I can pull up a photo or two that I took of him. Yeah, she's mother. Like, she's mother in the sense that she is his mother. She made him from nothing, and she lived as his mother, existed in his life, filling that role. Maybe even cared for him. As far as that goes, I can't say for sure. But she's also mother, in the sense that, you know, she's the one. She's that diva. All right, let's see. I can drop in. Whoa, bigger than I thought it would be. Here, I'll crop this. Hold on. And to keep the physical paper immersion that I've got going here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do... Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I can duplicate this. Oh, yeah. By the way, I have a request of you, okay? If you don't mind. You don't have to do this, but I would appreciate it. I would love it if you could remind me when we get close to like 10:30 EDT. That's about 2.5 hours from now. I ask just because whenever I'm doodling or brainstorming like this, I'm very prone to distraction. Like, I forget about everything else. So I'd appreciate if you could help me stay on schedule. You know what I mean? You're always very good at reminding me of these things. I can set an alarm too, actually, but I don't know. I kind of like relying on you, even if I don't necessarily have to. I think relying on people is nice. Brings you closer. You know what I mean? So I appreciate your help. No pressure, of course, but yes. Okay. How do I transform him? This will be our reference for making him, because that's the skin I made. I locked in this morning and I made a skin because I thought if I made and published the fact that I had one, that I would have to play. And I kind of do now, right? Like, it would be so awkward if I did all this and then I was like, actually, I changed my mind. Little stamp. I was kind of going for here. Maybe I can make it more obvious this way. I was kind of going for more like, hold on. What do those look like? Let me do, I'll draw this myself. What do those look like when they're on the paper? Is it like this? You know what those are called? The clips, paper clips? How do those look? I know that when, okay, hold on. When they're not on paper, they look like this. Right? It's like this general structure. I think you would see like that, right? Can I get that smooth? Maybe if I stabilize more. There we go. A little paper clip. Oh, but it's not clipped to the other paper, so it doesn't actually do anything. Never mind. How about this? I actually made this myself when I did my presentation once upon a time. If you remember that, watch this. All right, if I do like that, and then pull out the airbrush. Way too much effort for a tiny, tiny thing, but I like immersion, so. Pull out the airbrush. Do like this, and it did this, and then do a little border on the outside. Gives me a clean idea of what to adjust a little bit. Clean that up a little bit. And then I can do a little line on it as well. Add some reflections and whatnot. Do a little blur. And then change the blending mode. Huzzah! I have made all that effort for the tiniest little thing. I've made a little piece of tape. And then to get it right, I'll do like this. And then to make it look even more like tape, you can morph it a little bit. Boom. Now it's taped there. And watch, I can do this too. I can, just for full immersion. Because immersion is justice. You know how I feel about that. I can do the same thing over here. Huzzah! I'm king. It's a little too rounded. Page is not that thick. Boom, now it's taped to the page. You see my vision? You like it? You know you like it. Yeah, that'll be our reference. All that, I have to go back to the task at hand. I'm gonna have a sip of tea first, though. If you got a beverage, you should have a sip too. I gotta say, it's been a while since I've had throat coat with no honey in it. I did not put any honey in today. I just felt like having it normal mode today. Okay. Let me adjust this a little bit. Yeah, she doesn't get a Minecraft skin because she doesn't exist in Minecraft. She's just backstory. So he was made by an evil witch. And so, you know, her familiar. Oh yeah, I should draw her familiar too. I gotta say, when I was writing the story, I imagined that the familiar would look something like this. Hold on. Wait, how would it... I was imagining like a crow. I imagined a crow. Like, I imagined that it would look something like this. You know, just classic witch familiar, because they all love crows, right? New familiars dropping now, though. New familiar drops. I'd be able to get such nicer looking doodles if I would do like a rough sketch underneath and then change the transparency, but I kind of like doing it free like this. I think doing it like this helps me improve my line confidence a little bit, because it's nowhere near where I'd like it to be, and you only really get there by doing it. This is her familiar. She's got some of these. Let's see. Be a little... Gonna make that look right. No. I think I kind of like it just like this. I'm wondering if there is something though. Maybe... Oh, you know, I know you really want one of these. Just for this and only for this. only for VCraft, okay? Only for VCraft. I'll do colors for these later. Yeah, this is her familiar. Oh, I just realized I was drawing on the wrong line. Oops. I should probably have these on separate layers anyway, though. I'll figure that out later. I don't know what the big idea is when it comes to all this. Oh my gosh, I got clothes. I'm clothed. I'm always naked. What's the matter with being naked, huh? You don't like being naked? Because, you know, I can give, I can take away. I think this looks great. I'm a big fan. Okay. Just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding about being a big fan, but I'm kidding about taking it away. Yeah, I think as far as haircut goes, it would look... I can't decide if I want it to be exactly like mine, you know, have like a little bit longer on the bottom, like this kind of look. Or if I want it to be like a... How can I do this? If I do like... Whoa. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. I can't decide if I want it to be like if this is a side profile, right? I can't decide if I want it to be like this down here. Like this kind of look. Longer at the bottom, like mine is. Or if I want him to have... Because when I think about the character, right? I feel like it might actually be more suitable for him to have like a little bit of a cut at the bottom. You know what I mean? And for the hair to go like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, an undercut. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. I forget words sometimes. I feel like I could do that neck better. I can't decide. I'm kind of leaning towards the undercut, though. Not gonna lie. I don't know. I want to go out of my way to detail things like this just because I know people like to draw from things they see on stream, so I thought this might be helpful. Since all you really have this time to go off of is a skin, and I did go out of my way to make one. Maybe that kind of look on the side. I shrug. And I think he'd still tuck his hair... Oh, I got my pencil out. I think he'd still tuck his hair behind, like I do. And otherwise it would be a lot like mine. Since ultimately I'm portraying him, right? But I think an undercut could be a fun way to spice it up. Because, you know, Kael, he didn't get as much action as I'd have hoped, but he had like a high pony. He had like he had this going on. So that could be a fun way to spice it up a little bit. Who cuts his hair? I feel like this lady did. I feel like she did. Maybe he's doing it himself now. Calvin. Will he have a southern accent? I don't think so. Because I want him to be as distinct from Kael as possible. But I imagine it may be fun. Like, I imagine you may want to see a southern accent. I haven't decided exactly how he talks yet. Maybe we could decide that later too. Because I wanted to go in and figure a lot of these things out together. I don't know. I worry that if I do a southern accent, it'll be like, oh, so he's just going to pull out a southern accent every time he has to play a character that isn't himself. You know what I mean? If I'm not just going in as Kaelix. Because let's track our characters, right? I played as Cobb, who was a farm boy with a southern accent. I've played as Kael, who was a farm boy with a southern accent. The end. I don't think I've played any other characters like that. British, I don't think I have a confidence for British, and there are going to be multiple British people there, I think so. I think I may go for more like just a neutral type accent. The kind that you see in like anime and stuff, maybe. I may even just not do a voice at all. I may just talk as myself but still roleplay. You know? We can decide that later though. I wanna figure out the details for this. So when it comes to breaking apart all these little layers, because there's a lot of parts in here. Wait, let me lock this so I don't lose it. There's a lot of pieces here that you may be wondering about. So this part here is a turtleneck in my mind. It's a turtleneck. I thought I'd give him a turtleneck because I have a turtleneck. I love turtlenecks. I think they look so cool. They can be uncomfortable if they're not the right material, but I love the way they look, so that'd be nice. And then there is a shirt underneath the turtleneck that you can see kind of like this, and it's a darker color. I think I'll leave these uncolored for now so I can do it when I actually pull out colors. I'll do it on a separate layer. Yeah, this part is a turtleneck. That's a turtleneck. And then let's see, how do I want to detail this? The rest of it is kind of a tunic. It was actually really heavily inspired by a Hylian tunic from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's my favorite accessory or like outfit that you can get in those games. It is one of the easiest, and like it's kind of considered the default look, like baby's first outfit in Tears of the Kingdom, but I like it. So that was my muse in terms of layering and styling the tunic. So actually, if you're looking for a good reference, you might as well just look at that. Really, really, really similar. I tried my best to make it distinct in what ways I could, but still very similar. As such, there's also like a band here, belt with a pouch. But yeah, turtleneck, shirt underneath, tunic on the outside, and then let's see, how do I want to? And then I want to, let's see, how thick do I want this to be? How do I want this to look? I think I'll make it a little loose and baggy like this. Because I've always kind of liked that about some iterations of like the tunics in the Zelda games. The design is very Zelda inspired, to be clear. Like even outside of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I wanted to kind of feel like a Zelda design. I wanted him to feel kind of like he came from a Zelda game, just in everything about him. It's funny, I've only interacted with people once now. That's actually why I set up the stream waiting room a little late today. I had only set it up 30 minutes ahead of the start today because we had another tech check today. I wasn't able to make it to the previous ones, but Luca's been running these little tech checks every now and then, so people can come into the game and like have a chance to see if their PC can handle having everybody together and if anything needs to change, or like ask any questions. And I met some of the other talents involved today. But yeah, aside from that, there's like an intro space in the server where people like write an introduction. And everybody has been writing the sweetest, most detailed, like, I love this, this, and this. This is the thing that inspired me to be a VTuber. This is what inspired me to become a streamer. This is my favorite video game. These are my favorite music artists, like writing all these details. My intro was like this. This is what I wrote. You ready? This is the format. We got name. Whoa. Pronouns. And then about. I'll call it about me. So everybody, it was kind of like la 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 with an exclamation point and an emoji. And then la 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 la. And then the about me would always look like this. Every single one, it was like this. Or I guess it would be like this. Emoji. Exclamation point. Emoji. Right? They all look like this. Here's what I wrote. I wrote exactly like this. All right. Okay, I just did that. Okay, and then I did. Boom. That's what I wrote. Do you think it tells them enough for those that don't know me? Do you think I gave them enough material? That's what I gave them. That's exactly what I wrote. It was exactly like that. I'm just gonna erase this manually. Actually, it'd be faster. I just wrote, I like Zelda a whole lot. Yeah, I met some of the other talents during the tech check today. It was really fun. And it made me a little bit less nervous, funny enough. Granted, it was not everybody. I don't think it was even half of the people participating in total that were there for the check today, but met some that I've seen around anyway, so that was pretty exciting. Yeah, I'll give him a little belt. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not giving like a bad impression or anything when I'm like, I'm just nervous. I hope it's not like, he hates these people. No, I'm just nervous to meet people. I'm nervous to play in something that big. I've never done it before. I've played Minecraft a bunch in the past, and I love Final Fantasy 14, but in any game that has lots and lots of people, I was never able to like get to know strangers in these games. I could never do it. I would always play with no comms, and any friends, if I played with friends in these video games, they had to be friends that I already had, that I met like out in the real world. That is how that worked for me. Or like elsewhere. You know what I mean? I've always struggled with that. I just get so nervous. It's funny because I feel like you'd expect it to be the other way around, right? Because if you make a mistake meeting somebody in real life, there's consequences. You might see that person again. Online and in video games, they will never see you again. There's a very strong chance you'll go the rest of your online existence without ever seeing any of these people again. And yet, I get so scared. Can't decide how I want to join these, but I guess I'll do like a basic buckle. You are free to add any details, by the way. It's the same as when I did the design for like the sword stream. Speaking of, oh my gosh, I feel like I didn't articulate this part actually. That tunic that I had was also inspired by the Hylian tunic. That part where it's like this, hold on. I wanted to clarify this at some point and I never did. And I keep seeing it, so I don't know. It makes me so happy when people draw it, and I like it however you draw it, no matter how you draw it. But I thought I'd clarify my intention a little bit more. This breastplate, a lot of people draw it like this, because that's how I drew it with my limited medium, just the blotchy paint. It's actually meant to be more like this. Like a breastplate, and then a shoulder guard. They're meant to be two separate pieces, just like in the Hylian tunic. I just didn't I didn't adequately show that in my drawing. Oh, whoops. Just messed that up. How's that looking now? Did I mess that up? Okay. Yeah, I just thought I'd share. Just thought I'd share for anybody that wants to know. Just a quick little sneaky mention. That was such a fun stream. Every time I see people draw it, I get so emo. I've sent a couple to the boys too. The stream made me very happy. I love swords. Yeah, as for his character, so you know, he opens the door. This door, or I guess, I think rather than the door never opening, because I kind of want him to have access to this outside area. I want to think that he's ventured into the forest a few times, but you know, as the spell is active, he just always finds himself right back inside. So he doesn't expect to see anybody at the door, but when he hears it knock and when it opens, he's like, oh my gosh, she's back. And he's got all these apologies ready, and he just wants her to stay with him again. And then he sees this little guy. He sees this creature, her familiar. And it says, she's perished in battle, and she wants you to live for yourself. She wants you to learn what it means to be human. And then right in front of the door, this big, like one of these opens up right in front of him. And on the inside, he can see this place with like all these pillars. Actually, it might be better to do it like this. He sees this place with all these pillars around a little pool of water designed in this sort of like pattern like this. He sees it, and so he steps through, and that's where he finds himself. And it's his first time ever leaving the forest. Also inspired by The Legend of Zelda, by the way. Specifically inspired by The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, where Link is raised from infancy in the forest, and it's specifically a forest with a spell on it that allows you to prevent you from leaving. And one day everything changes, and he leaves the forest for the first time. because he's given a goal. He's given a mission by his paternal / maternal figure. It's all a Zelda reference. I just love Zelda. How can I make it about Zelda without it being too obvious? That was my thought with like planning this character. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be Link, but a little to the left. That should be his voice. All right, Calvin does not use words. All right, ask Calvin a question, and I'll speak as another talent. I'll speak as a talent for you. Just ask him a question in character. You're in the VCraft Enchanted server. All right. Ask him a question. How's your day? This is how he responds. All right. He goes, You know magic too? All right. Another talent says, you know magic? You know what I mean? Like that kind of vibe. What's your favorite food? He starts gesturing with his hands to make a triangle and he goes, huh? Wait, actually, this started as a joke, but I kind of want to do it. I kind of actually want to do it. Because, hey, listen, it would make sense. He's minimally socialized. But I'd be so limited in the things that I could say to people. This is a roleplay server. I wouldn't be able to say much of anything. How would I, I'd have to have a way to actually communicate. Maybe I could do it in written roleplay. Like in writing, it could be like Calvin gestures with his arms. He makes this shape or like this shape. And then while I type it, I could be like, huh? Start writing in enchantment table glyphs. I don't know. I'll think about that. That would be very Zelda though. And then it would make sense for me to have given them the intro that I gave them. All I wrote about myself was that I like Zelda, so if I roll in looking like this and I start like humming and grunting instead of answering in words. That could be a way. That could also be a way to deal with the fact that I'm nervous as all hell to like interact with everybody. I'm really nervous, so if I don't actually have to say anything. Not gonna lie. It's kind of tempting. I don't know if I'll go through with that because like I said, I need to be able to communicate with people. But it's kind of tempting. So, for the shirt here, there's the undershirt, like the one that's a darker color. It's this one specifically. And then there's another one underneath that. The sleeves are a little bit longer. You can kind of see it right here, right? Just at the top of the gloves. The innermost shirt, the turtleneck, it continues down this way. And then he's got big blocky gloves like this. And they are fingerless, or maybe like semi-fingerless. Like it might cover some of the fingers, but not all. I'll draw it like this for now, but I'll see if I can get you a more detailed reference here in a second. And then for legs, I just love belts. I love belts in character design, so I gave him a bunch of belts on his legs. Hold on. Yeah, I'll just straight line it for this one. And then, whoa. You know what I need to start doing? When I sketch normally, I don't know why I'm not doing it today. When I sketch normally, I do it more like this. Like I'll do like a collection of lines together to reach my destination. I don't know why I'm doing it in single strokes today. But it would not make sense to switch halfway through, so I'll commit to single strokes. Wait, where does the pants start? pant starts like here, which means that on this it would start like here. So I should keep that in mind. He's got long, skinny legs. He's just like me for real. Long legs. They tried to put him on the cover of Rogue magazine, but his legs were too long. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh, you know what I need to do? This is how I normally do lines. I find that I can do like a diagonal stroke like this a lot better than I can do a vertical or like other directions. I can always get a clean stroke when it's like that. So if I just change the angle of the page, maybe. It's good enough. No, it's not. Oh, I'll just do it like this. Duh. Alright, I'm just gonna work with it. I cannot spend the whole day on the legs. Little chicken legs. Little chicken legs. He's got big boots. And the boots themselves have little buckles on them as well that loop around. Hold on. Let me switch my eraser. He got big boots. Whoa. Maybe more like this. Yeah. And the boots have little buckles on them that go around, like little belts with straps on them. Maybe buckles on the front like that. Like this kind of boot. That's very Zelda, don't you think? Legally distinct in what ways it needs to be. Of course. And get the other one over here. Your buckle. Boom. So goofy. All right, let's see. I mentioned that I wanted to maybe figure out which fingers are the gloves, so I can do. Hold on. How do I draw fingies again? I always forget how to do hands properly. Here, I'll do it. I'll do a really rough baby drawing. Because that's all you really need, right? All right, how much of the hands do we want to cover up? Do we want it to be like everything except the thumb maybe? And do like this? Or do we want it to be like more like this? Because in Minecraft style, you can really interpret it as either. This in particular would be the most Zelda. This is a Zelda glove. That's a Zelda glove. Or something I really like is when character design does more like this, like almost all of them, but just leaving a couple. Or actually, I think I would have preferred it like if it were one of those. Just leave out like this one. That can be fun. Or I think it would make more sense if it was these two, because you use those to pinch things. That would be a more practical design for a glove. Like that, maybe. Yeah, like archer gloves, right? I don't know that he'll be an archer, but that would be practical. True fingerless would be practical, like where it cuts off right at the base of the knuckles. And I think my personal favorite fingerless, I'm gonna draw this hand a little bit longer. My gosh. My personal favorite is why I'm drawing it longer, is so that I can showcase that better, because it wouldn't really be as easy to read on a stubbier hand. My personal favorite, whoa, is when it, rather than cutting off at the base of the knuckle, cuts off at the first knuckle on the finger, like that. You see what I'm saying? Hold on. Make it first, make it good later. I always struggle with hands. Hands are tough. Just needs to be enough that it can be read by somebody else. Yeah, I can't decide if I want to do like this, which is fun, or I think my personal favorite is, like I said, cutting off a little further down the finger. Like that. Know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of doing a poll, but I'm the more I look at it, the more I lean towards this one. Like with just the, like at the first knuckle on the finger. I guess this would be the second knuckle, wouldn't it? The one that's actually on the finger itself rather than the base of the finger. Yeah, half covered. I think that's how I'll do it. I'll leave that uncolored though, so that I can color it later. What am I missing? Belts on the legs. Let's see. Put them about like here. Just 2 little belts. They've got little straps connecting them on like the inner, like the inside and the outside. So there's some on the inner thigh and there's some on the outer thigh. These little like vertical straps that connect the two together. I'll put it like that maybe. And then what else is there? Oh yeah, I also designed it so that it's connected to the boots a little bit, but I might change that. I might retcon that. Because I don't know, if it's up on the thigh, it would have to go really far down to reach the boots. Wouldn't it? I do love my belts. Let's see. Because I made the same straps go down here, but Minecraft legs are so much shorter, so it was easier to get away with doing that. All right. I think I am gonna modify the position of the legs though. Favorite thing about digital art is that you can cheat. Oh, whoops. Boom. Is BGM doubled? Oh my god, it is doubled. It's been doubled this whole time. Thank you. Nice catch. I had my wrong setting on. I hope that wasn't too noticeable. Oh my gosh. We're an hour and a half in. Thank you for letting me know. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Did you say something? And I just didn't see it? I'm so sorry. Thank you for telling me. Oh my gosh. It's been like that the whole time, hasn't it? Aw, man. What a bummer. Oh, you mentioned it at the start. At the beginning is when I'm least likely to see something. I try my best to read as I go, right? But in the beginning, everything's moving so fast. It's so hard. That's when I miss the most, is in the beginning. Aw, man. Well, thank you for being so patient with it. I hate that it took me so long, but... oh, well. Okay, anyway. I think that kind of covers the... am I missing anything? We got the gloves, got the sleeves, got the turtleneck. Maybe I could spice it up in a way that isn't visible in a Minecraft skin. Add something else. I don't know. Oh, something I kind of wanted to do as well. I want his hair to be seen as like super messy. Like really, really messy. Like this kind of look. My hair is kind of messy. I've always had a bit of a shake and go approach to styling my hair.
I just find it convenient, but yeah, I want him to look like super messy. I couldn't really get that across in the pixels of Minecraft. I just think he's a very, you know, he's been doted on for all these years. I imagine he's not actually very good at taking care of himself in adulthood because he's been spoiled and covered by this one. No, I don't think I want to give her. I think I'm going to give her. No, that makes her look old. She needs to look young. All right. What else is there? Doesn't know what a brush is. Yeah, she never introduced him to the magic of brushes. Now, I don't think it's that bad. I think maybe he just naturally has frizzy hair. Just naturally a bit messy. Yeah. Like, I imagine he's got decent hygiene. You know, he's bathing and stuff regularly, but... How old is she frozen? I want to say young adulthood, maybe, by that point. Like, I'd say she's, like, 25, 26. 25, 26. And... like, she hasn't started wrinkling yet. But it would still take her quite a few years to achieve everything she did. So, it wouldn't be realistic for her to be younger than that. I want her to be, like... I don't know. My hope with it, though, in any case, is that it's creepy that she looks the way she does, like, when talking to her. I want her to speak like something that's 1,000 years old in most ways and in most situations. I like that. Loves naps. New piece of canon just dropped, actually. Anytime I'm not on the server, that means that Calvin is sleeping. He loves napping. So if I'm ever offline, that's because he's taken a nap. He naps for a long time. Sometimes he'll nap for multiple days at a time. Yeah, big lore just dropped. That's why he's got bedhead. He's got perpetual bedhead. Because he loves to sleep. Yeah, this is my self-insert, so I have to inject some of my own personality in where I can. That way I can still have fun, organic interactions with everybody who's mostly inserting parts of themselves as well. Let's see. Okay. So, actually, I'll detail another point later. I should start coloring while we figure other stuff out. As for his purpose, right? People are deciding on what they want to do. Seems like everybody and their mom wants to make an establishment of some kind. That's the big popular idea that everybody in the VCraft Enchanted server has. Even just among those that are published, right? Everybody's like, I want to make a restaurant. I want to make a tavern. I want to make I think I saw a blacksmith shop. Everybody's making an establishment. Everybody's making like a public place for people to go and get services of some kind, which is really cool and really fun. He will not be doing that. He is gonna just, you know, he wanders through this portal. These are the first people he's ever seen in terms of, like, you know, how can you really define a person? Some would say these are the first people, air quotes, that he's ever seen in his entire life. No matter what, like, at the very least, this is the first people he's ever seen other than his mother. So he's super disoriented. There's a lot about the world that he doesn't know. He's friendly. He's sweet, right? Just to be clear, he's not, like, even if he's minimally socialized, he's not going to be rude or standoffish or anything like that. I'm shy, but I'm not going to play him as shy. I'm better than that. I guess I could, though. And that'd be a way to get away with it. I think I'm going to make it this color. But yeah. He doesn't really have any clear goal from the start. This is primarily because I don't know exactly what I want to do, like, right yet. I have some vague interests. A thought that I had is that maybe he wants to master magic in hopes that he can find Madeline again. And maybe, you know, if that's the goal, maybe I could retcon the story a little bit. I know I've shown you, or not shown you, but I've told you what I have so far. Maybe I could make it so that rather than dying in battle, maybe she was sent away through a portal by another magic caster. So she's just missing in action, MIA. So she's as good as perished to the average person, but in theory, you know, maybe another skilled magic caster could find her. Kind of like one of my favorite, you know, my favorite band is Millie, right? One of my favorite Millie songs is a song called Summoning 101. That is a song about a witch who discovers this wolf person. She discovers her alpha. No, that's a joke. But she she discovers this wolf person from another dimension when she's studying portals and stuff in her magic studies. And the gate closes after they see each other, but they're in love. Like, they love each other right away. And they aren't able to... Sorry if this is like spoilers for the song. That honestly is like the first chunk of the song. So if you want to listen to the song for the first time without knowing the story, which I highly recommend, actually, I recommend muting for a good minute, because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to spoil it for those that don't care to listen, or for those that have listened. So she sees this wolf man, and he sees her on the other side of the gate, and they fall in love with each other right away. But the portal closes. And they aren't able to see each other anymore. And so the witch spends the rest of her life trying to figure out how she can reconnect with this wolf man from this specific random dimension that she discovered by chance. And one day she does manage to find him again. He loses his arm in the process, and the gate closes again. So she tries. I think I'm getting this right. I may be misremembering and mixing some of the details up, but I'm pretty sure she tries a third time. And the third time it happens. Actually, no, this might be the second time. I think I'm fusing the second with a non-existent third. Anyway, after that initial meeting, later on, she tries and successfully finds him again. The gate opens, but in order to open the gate, she sacrifices her life in order to keep it open for him so he can come through to the other side. So they finally reconnect, and he sees her again, but she's just a pile of bones. And it's a really, really sad song. Yeah, it could be, hopefully not with that kind of ending, right? But it could be a concept like that, right? Where he just wants to learn magic so that he can find the dimension that his mother has been sent to, so he can see her again and get answers to his questions. But she just wants him to find the answers for himself. It could be one of those situations, maybe. Yeah, it's a very sad song. Highly recommend listening to it if you're interested in that story. They do a really effective storytelling, Millie, with just sound design and a simple video. They always do. Well, they don't always do. There have been some full music videos, but for their video releases, they usually just get one full illustration, and they don't do any motion graphics at all. They just throw on the lyrics. And you're expected to kind of like, for me, the way I like to experience Millie songs, I like to kind of look at the image really closely for a bit, see what I can see from the image, and then I close my eyes while I listen, and I imagine the details from that image as they fit into the context of the story. And then after I've done that, I like to look at the image again. Sometimes I'll pull up the lyrics to do the same thing. Yeah, it's a really interesting story format that they have. And that one in particular could be a good inspo for this, right? Because it involves gates, like portals that you travel through. And it involves magic, witchcraft. So it could be like that. It could be that he just wants to find his mom again. And then, okay, the undershirt is based a little bit in blue. It's like a blue-gray color. But honestly, it's closer to gray. Just a ever so slightly blue-gray for that undershirt on this one. And then for the undershirt, the turtleneck that's on the inside, it's a yellowish color, a yellowish off-white gray color. Like that. Yeah. And then actually for the rest, I should go ahead because I am, I'm acting as Calvin, so it would make more sense if I... Where did I put this? I tried to speak, all that came out was L'arriva tu conquieta, ai techno amora. I love that song. Yeah, it's got like Millie loves to do something else I love about them. When Cassie writes the lyrics, she loves to incorporate fake languages like conlangs. And one of them that shows up a lot is this like du lapita type sound. She uses that in a lot of songs. She was using those in her solo originals back when Millie didn't exist as well. Let's see, where am I? Why am I struggling to find this? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna borrow this just for a second. I'm not gonna put it. Well, maybe I should put it on there, but I'm gonna borrow this for the palette. But yeah, like when she was doing her dummy series, it went like tu la pitata lu pasha tu la lu te feta tu la lu papa tu la pitata lu pasha. That was one that showed up a lot. She used the same one in Galahad and Scientific Witchery. Another song about a witch and her like thrall, I guess you could call it, servant. I'm gonna do this on a separate layer so I can desaturate it a little bit after. Yeah, that's one that shows up a lot. In Summoning 101, it's got a distinct and different sound. It kind of feels like a middle ground of Latin, French, and Arabic to me personally. It's like if you took the phonemic inventories, the phonetic inventories of those three and melded them into one. And I don't think it means anything. It might, but I'm pretty sure it usually doesn't. It's usually more for the sound, I think. But I really like that. I love when singers do, or like when songwriters do fake language. Or when they go all the way and make a full-fledged language for it. I always love those. Another one I really like is, I can't remember the name of the artist, but there's a song from an anime that I used to really love, Cowboy Bebop. I haven't watched it in years, but I really love Cowboy Bebop. There's a song that plays as an insert song at one point where the songwriter wrote it in fake French. So it sounds a little bit like French, but none of the words mean anything. Je suis un monsacona, ruchette pour bleu, que c'est à c'est le possible. Je me suis de l'amour chez moi. Ooh. And the reason they wrote it that way, it's really interesting. They wrote the fake French part in a way that sounds like the Japanese part. So it's kind of like misheard fake French lyrics, you know? The main lyric is Boku no ko inu ga inakunatta. Like, I've lost my dog. I've lost my puppy. That's what the song is about. It's about someone that's lost their little dog. Can't find their dog. Boku no ko inu ga. And then I think the misheard French version, like the fake misheard French, it's Boku no kon. I think is how you'd pronounce that. But it's spelled like coin, like C-O-I-N, kon. And it, you know, in Japanese phonetics, that's koinu. Pretty clever, right? And that's the name of the song. W-O-Q-U-I-N-O-N-C-O-I-N. I really like that one. Yeah, if you actually speak French, that song sounds ridiculous. Because it sounds kind of like French, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, there are some actual French words mixed into it. There are some actual French words mixed in, but not many, and most that are don't make any sense in the actual context they're being used in. It's just nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense. Yeah, he's got blue tips just like me. However, important canon information, all right? I dye my hair. He does not. He's a product of magic, and his hair naturally looks this way. This is just naturally the way his hair grows. Don't ask me how his hair naturally has like highlights or tip colors. It just does, okay? That's just how it looks. That's just how his hair looks. All right. I'm actually gonna transfer that to. Oh wait, never mind. All right, do I want to desaturate that at all or no? Oh yeah, I gotta do this too. I almost missed that. I gotta do the thumbs. He's got his fingies out. Oops. I also need to make it clear that this is the... Oh, I need to make that undershirt look less like skin. Well, actually, I think I may have painted over that. I did draw over that. Though the color I have picked out for this shirt looks just like the paper behind it, so maybe I should saturate it more. What do you think? Maybe I should make it more yellow-green. Maybe like this. Maybe that comes across clearer. Yeah, he does have a turtleneck. I just got lost while I was coloring it in because the turtleneck is basically the same color as the paper that I have. Ooh, you know what I should actually just do? I should just change the color of the paper. That'll help. That's more clear, right? All right. And then for flavor, I will give him... Give him some blush. I like to do it at the top of the ears too. Boom. And I feel like... All right, make a decision for me. Did she make him using her own DNA or did she make him truly from nothing? I feel like the former would be cute because it would make her like his actual mother. But the latter would be really cool from a narrative perspective, right? It would be like an actual feat of magic to truly spontaneously create something from nothing. I ask because that could influence how the coloring works out, right? I may give her the same hair color. From nothing. Opposite. Blood. I actually had a vision of that when I was imagining this. I don't know if you get this, but sometimes when I write these things, I imagine them as a cutscene for a Hoyoverse teaser. Like a Hoyoverse character teaser, right? When I was imagining this character, I imagined a live 2D tweened teaser for a character in a video game. And in that imaginary teaser that I imagined for Calvin, I imagined a shot where you can see her beautiful hand. You can see Madeline's beautiful finger just dangling down. And you can see blood is rolling down the palm. And a single drop falls off of her middle finger into a pot. And then that drop expands into like it covers the whole screen when it reaches another piece of water. Another body of water within the cauldron. That's actually something I imagined. I imagined like pink blood, or like some unnatural color for blood, specifically because she doesn't have a heart anymore, so her blood would be different somehow. Maybe her blood's black, like Soul Eater, something else I really love. You know, I love to reference things. All right, hold on, pause. Did he come from? Oh wait, hold on. Did she use her DNA to make him? And just because you can never pick a binary, I'll try to give you a third option too. Yes, he came. Oh, they are related. No, she invented him from nothing. She created him from nothing. No, but she made him in her image. So, I gave you a third middle ground too, if you struggled to if you struggle to make a decision. They are related in some way would mean she used her blood to make him. She dripped her blood into the cauldron. Like they're genetically related. They have the same genetic makeup. Second option, created from nothing. She may as well have just used dirt. Maybe she even did use dirt to transmute him using alchemy. Made him with nothing. Made him with absolutely nothing. So they are not related at all, and they don't look anything alike. Third one is they are not related at all. She made him from nothing, but she made him to resemble her on purpose. So they still look similar. And honestly, maybe they could be related, but she could still look distinct. Because I kind of want to give her pink hair. Not going to lie. Oh, you love to bring it to a close tie, don't you? Yeah, I expected this. I will say, I kind of want them to be related, if only for that shot that I had in my mind of like a single drop of blood dangling off the finger. You know what I mean? Like, I imagined it so vividly in my head. I could see a storyboard. Yeah, okay, I'll just close it. I'll take executive action here. I'll use my executive authority. I'll make the decision for you. I think what I'm gonna do, because I mentioned I want to give her pink hair. I think I'm gonna give her pink hair, but I'll put some white in it. I just think pink would look really nice. I really like pink. And maybe it could be that she had a like different hair color before. Like before she made all these contracts and stuff. It could be that her hair changed color when she made the contract. Okay, what else? Legs. Boom. And I think I'm actually also gonna do... I'm gonna do the leg like this because... No, I'm not. I'm just gonna color pick it. I was gonna say, I want these to be semi-transparent, so... but no, I can just do that with a color picker later. And then I can pick the color I want. That'll make more sense when I do it later. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give her like really light pink hair. Like that's too saturated. Like super light, like this. Like a cherry cordial Debbie cake cream filling. Cherry cream filling pink. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, I love those so much. I'm so excited for Christmas. Yeah, like really soft. Really light. I'm gonna make this a bigger brush. She's got the braided hair up top. I think I might change her aho game. I kind of want her to have a droopier one. I drew it like that on impulse, but I got another idea for that now. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, I think I want to change her aho game. I want it to be different. I think I want it to go down rather than up, actually. So I'm gonna do... I think I want it to be kind of like this. Like one of these, you know what I mean? Or maybe hers could be the same. Or maybe it could be one of these moments. I kind of like that. That's kind of cute, actually. Like that vibe. Yeah, Kaelix. Yeah, kind of Jigglypuff, right? That's so cute. I don't know, I looked at her and I was like, I feel like her hair... I kind of want her hair to feel like it's always wet. You know what I mean? But not actually. I want her to have that kind of hair. I don't know if you've ever known anybody that had hair like that, where like it's dry and it's clean, it's not greasy or anything, but it has the texture of hair that is wet. I want it to be that kind of like straight and silky long hair. I want it to feel kind of like that. That's my hope. And I think I may actually... Hold on. Idea. Just to give her some depth. I know this is meant to be like a simple design. And this is still simple, but... Inside of the hair, darker color. Ooh. That way you can see that it's wrapping around. See my vision? Yeah. And then for the white part, it can be like a white frill. And I think I'm going to give her a little ribbon on the front too to match her familiar. I think I'll do, also to match the familiar, I think I'll do like a creamy, like yellow color for the gown, nightgown. Go back to my bigger brush. I don't need to be doing everything so small. Eye color, good question. I should draw those over both of them, actually. I have another version of that eye that I used to draw too whenever I wanted an eye color to be visible. Remind me to do that if I don't initiate that myself in a bit, okay? Thank you. I always appreciate your support. There's a lot of stuff that I overlook. I get very quickly and easily distracted. So I want this to be like the same. Actually, no, I think I want it to be white, but like it is over the skin, right? So I actually want to color pick the skin and then raise the color a little bit so that it feels... You see what I mean? Like semi-opaque. That's the vibe I'm going for. That kind of material. Yeah, a little transparent. Translucent, perhaps. Yeah, the same material as like hose and stockings. And then, let's see. Okay, hold on. I may adjust the design a little bit for this as well. Might as well. I actually only started sketching her initially to get the idea across of like her face, and then started drawing everything. And now she's kind of integral to the whole thing, so. Even if she'll never show up, you can know. I may never speak of her to another player in the game. In fact, I feel like it might be a little cringe to do so, depending on timing. Like if there's ever like a situation where I get like in a suit, like what is it? A lore dump conversation with somebody maybe, but realistically the other players may never even hear her name or of the fact that she exists. If they're like, "What are you doing here? How'd you find yourself here?" I'd be like, "I stepped through the gate and there I was." Okay, and then let's see. I'll do an outer color so I can do things like this. I'll do a slightly more vivid yellow for the ribbon. I'll do it over the thing I drew earlier. Do my little block type ribbon like this. A little asymmetrical and whatnot. And then for her familiar, well, for her familiar, it may be a little familiar. Does this design look familiar at all to you? Does this design feel familiar at all? Never seen it in your life? Okay. Yeah, okay. I deserve that. And then I think it's a little off color compared to usual, but I think it's actually kind of cute if the palette is different for this setting. Like if the color is a little paler. I want it to match, you know what I mean? So it will match. Little ribbon wrapped around the neck. Was my okay too cold? The most cold you've ever heard? All right, how about this? I'm going to try to give you a colder okay, all right? All right. I got to warm up. Got to practice my cold. Okay. Okay. Was that cold enough? Okay. Okay. No whimsy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, fine. Was that cold enough? I don't know. I feel like I could do better. Okay. All right, let's see. What else do we need to do? Eyes. I'll go back to this outer layer on top. All right, for her eyes, small brush. What would go well with the pink? Honestly, it could be cute if they were pink too. I kind of want my muse for this character, like the way she looks and her vibe. And if you want like a face claim or like a voice claim for her, especially the Japanese one, my vision for her is specifically Echidna from ReZero. I love Echidna from ReZero. Could be cute if those were also pink. Even if they are like genetically related, they could still look different. Or I could hypothetically, oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that. In order for them to look genetically related, which they are, we decided they're genetically related. She used her blood to make him. I could do... One moment, please. All right, like that. Boom. Like this. I could grab this bad boy right here. I could give her... Oh, actually, I shouldn't need to do that again because I can just do this. I just do it like that. I could give her the big green color. My eyes are more this color than this color. Like it's more the bluish color on the top. That's what makes up most of my eyes, but maybe she could be the same. I feel like that green really suits her though. I'm not gonna lie. That green is kind of her. Kind of chilling. I want her to feel a little uncanny and uncomfortable to look at. You know what I mean? And then for him, over here, Calvin, Mr. Calvin, big guy Calvin, he can have my eye color. And maybe I could showcase some of that green because it is there even if I don't draw it here in the design. And give him the lower half like this. That's my eyes. But I feel like that's a little too fine detail. You know, the detail's a little bit too much. So here's what I'll do instead, because I kind of want it to be there. Here's what I'll do. I'll do it like this. Watch and learn. I'll give you a full eyeball for both. Her eyes will be... I need a bigger brush. 17. I kind of want her eyes to be a little a little dough-like. Like a little round. But I also want them to be mostly half-lidded most of the time. Like I want her to keep her eyes perpetually like this, you know, just because she's so content and relaxed. But naturally I want them to be a little round. So I'll give her like this kind of eye. And then like this shape. I love drawing circles. I hate drawing circles. And then I'll do a triangle here. No. Make that more vertical. Like this. Give her little lashes here and there. No. I'll just leave it at these three, I think. And then for this bottom part, I think... How can I make her look a little twisted, a little cynical? I'll connect it with little lashes on the bottom. Maybe I can give her a little shape too. I could give her like the star that I like. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll color it in. Hold on. Okay. All right. And then I'll color on top of it as I need to. So for colors, to give her more detail if you want it, I can do... Maybe that pink can go in there. Nah. Hold on. Here's what I'll do. I'll make them kind of inverse of each other. I'll make him majority the blue color and minority green, and then make her majority green, minority blue. How about that? Be kind of yummy. Yeah, an irregularly sized pupil is really effective for making it uncanny. Or no pupil at all would also be uncanny. That's actually what I really like about Shinobu Kocho, her design. Speaking of like designs that are kind of inspiring, I really love her design. And then I think I'll do... I think I'll give her like the Hoshino eye. Speaking of... no spoiler. I'll give her the Hoshino eye. But in her case, I'll make it 8-pointed. Like that. And then I'll do a smaller brush in that bluer color. No, I'll do the green one, but darker. And even smaller. But I can sharpen it up a little bit. That's what her eye looks like. And then for the filling on the inside, I'll do like this. Oh wait, I'll go slightly smaller. I can brighten that up a bit too. Boom. Diva. And then I like to do, if I'm fully coloring at all, or not even, this isn't even fully colored, but I like to do a pinkish off-white color on the top of the eye. Usually to indicate a sense of shadow, like hair is over the eye. And just do it like this. I like to do it over the sclera, like this. See my vision? Boom, that's her eye. That's what her eye looks like. I kind of want to modify the design in the sketch actually, because she's got much bigger lashes than I drew her with initially. And it feels so correct, you know what I mean? So actually, I'll wing that up. I'll give her her little lashes on the top as well. Maybe I could give her a beauty mark too. Give her like a... Maybe a little beauty mark. What if I fused Sable and Zeal? I think I'll give her one little beauty mark under her left eye. The tiniest beauty mark. Tiny little beauty mark right there. Ooh, neck would be nice because she has her neck exposed, true. Or like, nah, I think I like it right under the eye. And because it's that eye, that means that I can also draw it here. Ooh. Pretty fun. All right, so her eye is more green, but it has a slightly like this teal blue, this turquoise blue color that I have. That's on the rim of her eye. And then for him, it'll be reverse. It'll be more turquoise, a little green. It's just my eye, but I can just redraw my eye for consistency in the reference, right? What size? What size did I make that? Did I go to 17? Maybe 20? All right. As for his expression, though, because I kind of want to give some personality. I kind of want to give some personality where I can. I think I want him to be kind of neutral, kind of like Linkish, because I need everything to be about the Legend of Zelda. Actually, I think I'll draw this over here so I can put them next to each other. That way I have a relative sense of scale. Wait, 17? What about 17? What did I say? Did I forget what I said? What about 17? Or is this a 6-7 joke? Oh, size 17. Did I say that? Like size 17 brush? Did I say that out loud? You remembered? You're so good. The way you remember my brush sizes for me. I was like, who's 17? She's not 17. I'm not 17. Oh my gosh. I'll give him a little bit of the same wing, but slightly smaller. Because I want the eye to feel a little bit more masculine. And I think in general, the bigger the wing, the more feminine in the art style, right? No. I was gonna think I could maybe erase it to make it look more correct. Actually, I kind of want to rotate this a little bit. Hold on. 6-7. I hate it so bad. I need it to be over. I thought it was funny for a second, and now I'm over it. But I think 6-7 is gonna keep going forever. Yeah, I kind of want his eyes to be like this. Like he's friendly and sociable and he'll laugh and have fun, just to be clear. I want that to be clear. I think role-playing as a standoffish and rude character is really boring and unfun for everybody, including the person playing the rude, standoffish, boring character. So he'll be fun and he'll have fun and he'll be sociable, but I want him to like have a very cool face. I want him to be kind of unexpressive in his face. You know what I mean? Actually, kind of, I drew this initially as like a lidded, like an eyelid. I kind of want to turn that into a brow, because I gave her a more intense expression than I was initially planning to. It just turned out so right. So I can include a brow in this too. It'd be a fun thing to pop in there. That way I can draw his brow too. I think I want his brows to be slightly thicker than mine, because that's how Link's brows look. Link tends to have this kind of brow shape, like a very young Leonardo DiCaprio brow. like this kind of shape, where it's bigger on the top, like on the edge of the brow. I want him to feel like Link. Does he feel like Link? Am I succeeding? I just want to showcase my love of Zelda in this character concept by low-key kind of plagiarizing a little bit. Just a little bit. I did not claim these ideas as my own. Yeah, I think I want his brows to be just a little bit thicker than mine. And then I'll do like this. A little bushy at the end. 6, 7. No! Ugh, I'm sick. And in her case, I'll make her a little smaller. All right, and now we go back to color. And so I'll go size 30 to color this in. I'll go reverse order. I'll start with the scleras on this one and then finish with the pupils. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Oishii. Think about something else. Oh, you know what? I hate this. You know what I thought of? 大きな一物を私にください. That's what I thought of. 大きな〇〇をください. 大きな〇〇をください. 大きな〇〇を私にください. He was so cool at that part. He was so cool. He sang that so cool. He said, na, la, ba. I can't sing anywhere near as high as he can. Ba. No, I wish I could belt that. Or not, that's not even belting. I wish I could sing in that high in my falsetto. No, unfortunately, I'm a bass. My cutoff is a lot lower. I'm not even a true bass anymore, but I still have like the limitations of a bass. Killed. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I did not hit that. I think in a recording, like for something recorded, I could maybe hit that. Like if I had prep time and I had enough time to like do multiple takes, but I could never do that in a live performance. And that's what I consider my threshold for what I can do. Like technically, and like for example, in a cover or in like in anything pre-recorded, there are notes that I can hit and techniques that I can pull off that I otherwise cannot do live. But if I can't do it live, I personally don't consider it a part of my skill set or as a part of my range, because I don't know, live, as much as I love recorded vocals and as much as I really want to in the future do more covers, live vocals are everything to me. That's what I personally work towards, and that's what I think. I don't know. That's just my personal value and my personal metric for success in that direction. So yeah, if I can't do it in a live performance, then I can't do it in my mind. Even if I could do it in a cover. So as far as I'm concerned, that is not something I'm capable of. Yet. Important side note there. Yet. Not capable of yet. I.e. I will be someday with enough effort. Okay, what am I missing here? I should actually do this a little different if I want it to really be like my eye. But I don't think I need it to be super close. I just want it to generally have the feeling of my eye. So I'm going to take this color. If you're drawing this at any point though, you can just draw my eye. Okay. It doesn't have to look anything like this. I'm just generally trying to get the vibes. And I'll do a lighter color like this. La, la, ba. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the white pupil there. I think it just looks nice. And then to make it look a little bit more like mine, I'll do like this. I'll do one on the right. Because usually my highlights are like, rather than in the center, it's at the bottom and on the right. But I think that looks nice too. And then let me grab. Hi there. Whoa. Where'd I go? There we go. Do like this. Oh, whoops. 大きな一物はいらない。大きな丸々はいらない。So inappropriate. I shouldn't be singing that. I can't get it out of my head. I need you to know I've been walking around my house singing that. It's been stuck in my mind. It just won't go away. 6, 7. No, I don't like 6, 7. I'm sick of it. I think it's had its moment, and I'm scared because I don't think it's ever gonna leave. Yeah, this is the vibe I want. Do you see the family? You see the family looks? Do you see the relation? I feel like I could make her eye a little bit more detailed since I did the finer lines for Calvin's. Put a little ring around this. Get in that lighter color. But I'll do it on the bottom half. Beautiful. Yeah, 6, 7 is out. It's out. It's officially out. I declare it out. I don't want it. I'm sick of 6, 7. I don't want it here anymore. I need it to be sent away to a correctional facility for stems and memes that I don't like. No more 6, 7. Out! I'm scared though. I genuinely think it'll be forever. I think it will have the eternal longevity of like 6, 9, for example. I think it'll be stronger than 6, 9 because here's the thing. All right, count for me. Count from 5 to 10 for me. Right. Like it's always there. So people will be like 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, and then they'll do the hand thing. Like when you count up, you'll always encounter 6 and then 7, right? So I think it's here to stay forever, and I don't want it to be. It's like set up for eternal life, and I wish it wasn't. All right, what else do I need to draw? I could detail their home a little bit, maybe. I kind of love... I drew this just impulsively, but I kind of want to do more. I just drew it to like get an idea across to you in the moment. I love drawing. It's so fun. It's so much fun. I think everybody should do it. Oh, you should try it if you've never drawn before. Everybody's drawn before. Draw when you're a kid, and then when you're an adult, it's like suddenly it's not cool to draw anymore, and I don't get that at all. I think everybody should draw. Pull out a sticky note right now. Drawing is just so fun. I love it so much. Makes me so happy. None of this would have existed if I didn't open this program and start doodling. None of this would ever have existed. It would have never come to be. And now it is. Here it is. Because I declared it so. Now I'll color this in a little bit. I imagine it being kind of like one of those classic dark stone towers, like stone bricks. With a classic purple roof, maybe. Classic purple roof. Classic purple roof. With a chimney. I didn't draw the chimney. I'll do like a silver color for the chimney. I kind of want it to be one of those like little pipes that go up like that. And then
little bit of smoke. And then what else I can do? The lights are on. The candles are lit inside. So I'll do a little ring around. I'll make that more gray so it looks like it's light reflecting on the bricks. Do a little light around the window. 6, 7, no. 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 6, 7. This is really awkward. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know if I can come back from this. I don't know if I can show my face after this. I think this might be the end of the line for me. You know, like I think it's over. I think I'm just cooked. I think I'm just done. You know, I don't think you can come back from this. But yeah, it's been real. Thank you for always hanging out with me. Thank you for being so kind to me, even as far gone as I am. This is goodbye. Bye forever. 6, 7. I'm genuinely am better than this. I'm sick. I don't like it at all. It's just so... The moment it starts, it doesn't stop. I've been doing so good. I've been fighting this for weeks now. I need you to know. I've been restraining myself against 6, 7 for weeks. Weeks, I'm telling you. Weeks. The moment it comes out, it stays out. I kind of want to do little isolated flowers here and there. Don't know if you've mentioned this already, but how literate is Calvin? He is literate, and he's also very educated. She educated him not just in what was known to the public of his world, but also in what she personally discovered. So he knows some things about like life and the world that other people don't know. Like, he's very educated. She was his tutor. A private education, but he had a pretty competent teacher, thankfully enough. That was one of the better parts of his upbringing. So he is super literate. He can read maybe in multiple languages, even. He cannot practice magic, but he has assisted her in her magic enough that he may be able to learn it with a generally higher than average aptitude than others, you know, higher than average. And then I think inside the bushes, I think I want her to have peonies as her representative flower. You know, I love assigning representative flowers to things. It just makes me happy. I think I want her to be represented by the peony. Like a classic pink peony. I love peonies. They make me happy. They're very pretty. I think peonies among flowers, you know, I like to talk about flowers sometimes. I think among flowers, peonies have one of the most like graceful vibes to them. Like, I think if you turned a peony into a person, it would be a really elegant ballerina. That's what I think. Does he wield any weapons? I don't think he's trained in combat. I don't think she ever trained him in anything because he probably, I don't know, maybe she feared he would use it to revolt against her. I don't think she'd ever see him as a genuine threat because she's super powerful. But yeah, no, she never trained him in combat, so he doesn't have any practical experience with that. But he does have a daily itinerary, so he's active, he's fit, but not strong, and he's not like muscly. Like, he's lived a healthy, just to be clear, like, he's isolated and a little socially stunted due to only interacting with this creep over here, his sicko mama, but he otherwise lived a very healthy life. Yeah. Like he got all the nutrients he needed, all the activity he needed. Yeah, this creep over here who decided she wanted to live forever. How tall? He's as tall as me. He is 6'1". I'm acting as him. So in this production, he's 6'1". I like the idea of him being tall in any case, though. Yeah, this freak of nature over here gave up her heart. I'm zooming in. This is where you'd find her heart normally. But there's nothing in there. She got no heart in there. mother. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had an OC before, if you've ever made an OC. If you have, you know already. It's common practice. You make an OC and you speak to them either super cruelly and wickedly and you treat them as such, or you speak very affectionately and lovingly. They're your precious child. How tall is she? I think she'd be like 5 foot tall. Maybe 5'3", 5'4", 5'5" at the tallest. I want her to be considerably shorter. In fact, I can showcase that actually. I can make that a little clearer. Okay, hold on. We can make that a little bit more obvious. I can link up their heights. I wasn't trying to, but I actually ended up getting their height gap pretty on point, I'd say. That's pretty close. I would say. Yeah, this is her familiar. She has a few of these around the house. I think they handle like the chores and stuff. Like they keep everything clean. They're a little clumsy, but that's by design. They are modeled after a toy that she had when she was little. When she was a small child, you know, I mentioned earlier, but if you weren't here for the big dump on Madeline, his mother, pretext for her is that she grew up in a tiny poor village, and she really had very little to claim for herself. Her prized possession was a little stuffed animal, a little plush toy. It was her only personal possession. It was her only personal belonging. The only thing she could call like exactly hers, nobody else's. She didn't have to share it with anybody. So she cherished it, and these are modeled after that. Not by chance. Not by chance. By design. Yeah, so that's what it's modeled after. We're the prized possession. If you choose to see yourself as the familiar, if you wanted to, you could also see yourself as Madeline in this equation, if you wanted to. Because, you know, the only thing that actually shows up in the context of the playthrough will just be Calvin. Everything else on this page is just extra stuff for you if you want to reframe the way that I'll be playing and just keep it in your mind. You're free to insert yourself however you want. You could even be this specific flower right here. You could be that specific flower, or you could be the well if you want. You can be whatever you want. Yeah, tag yourself if you want to be included. Yeah, you're free to see yourself as the familiar. Naturally, the familiar will not be accompanying Calvin, but you're free to imagine that the familiar is there, maybe. Let's see, what else would we benefit from having? I need to color his glove reference too. I need to go 17. 6, 7. I can't stand this. I've had enough of this. I want to go home. I am home. Go to 30. 6, 7. All right, tag yourself. I'm 6. No, I'm 7. You're 6. To be clear, I am not 6 or 7 years old. I am a grown adult. I am a grown adult over the age of 18. I'm not saying that I am 6 years old or 7 years old. I am saying that I am the number 7. Specifically the number 7. Not that many years old. Yeah, just as a note for the record, so that YouTube does not flag my channel as belonging to a minor. Why was 6 afraid of 7? 6, 7. I'm sick. I'm 6, 7. No! 6, 7. Oh, it's over. Julia Roberts. Julia Rob Hurts. Oh yeah, I did my buckle. I did my buckle wrong. I gotta fill that in because that's fully covered. It's more like it's almost like a cowboy type buckle. I really love those belts. I've always really loved those kinds of belts. Like where they got the really cool buckle on the center. And then for this, I could do the same, but I didn't do that on the skin. So I think what I'll do is I'll make it more like this kind of buckle, like a square. Oh, I realized I forgot something too. I forgot his little pouch. I forgot his little bag. He's got a little bag over here. He's got a, looks like this. I can do that really quickly. Quick and easy. This is where he puts his stuff. Ready for adventure. Beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss. What's inside? Marbles and hair and dust bunnies and candy. No, I don't know what's in there. I just came up with stuff off the top of my head. I kind of want to fill this space over here in the middle. But I don't know what to put there. What could I detail? What's a detail that we're missing? I do need to keep writing too. Collected buttons. I love buttons. We have a jar of buttons. Yeah, I could draw them together. That'd be cute. All right, speed run. Let's see. Let's draw a memory. Baby Calvin. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I don't feel like drawing a full pose, actually. I don't want to draw them together. I would love to draw them together someday, but I think I'd get sucked into a hole and I wouldn't be able to finish it in time. All right, here. Here's what I'll do. I've got an idea. All right, watch this. All right, let me do like this. This will be worth it when I finish it. Hold on. You'll see my vision. Trust. I hope. I trust that you'll see my vision. Okay. And then I'll do like that. Okay. Yeah, you're getting it. Okay, hold on. I got an idea for like a nostalgia drawing that I can do with the time that I have. Because I love drawing, and sometimes I can draw something more complicated. But it takes me so much time, and I've only got an hour to be with you before we have to get ready for the cover premiere. I gotta be ready for that, so I'm gonna switch to size 30. I fill this in. It'll be worth it. A little extra effort on the background, but I may actually change the way that looks in a moment. And then fill that in between. I'm gonna go size 60 for this, actually. And then I think I'm gonna make the lines on top either faint or like a color closer to the bricks so that it becomes a background. Sorry, you'll know why I'm laughing in a bit. Hold on. Just stay tuned. Trust. Okay, and then I'll do another gray color. Like that, maybe? Maybe a little bit lighter. All right. Boom, we got our backdrop. Get ready. All right. Okay, hold on. I need to make it look more crude. Maybe like this would be better, actually. And I think in childhood and adolescence, I think she'd put him in a little gown. I think he'd wear a little gown like this. Well, you wouldn't really get it through the chalk drawing, but... Like, I think it would be, like, down to the knees, maybe. It'd be a more feminine outfit for a child. Just an early childhood. Like a more gender neutral. And get his mommy. There's your nostalgia drawing. Somewhere on the wall of the... On the wall of the tower. Who knows where. And then, of course, you can't forget... Can't forget about this guy. The reason I was laughing is because this is also a The Legend of Zelda reference. This is a reference to Majora's Mask. This is a reference to Majora's Mask. There's a scene in Majora's Mask where you see a chalk drawing that one of the characters has made to like showcase to the player that this character, despite having a really cool aura, is actually pretty much just a little kid. And also kind of a victim. Maybe I could do colors too. Like colored chalk. That's always fun. Do like maybe a lighter pink. I kind of like it being all white. We'll see after I fill it in. I can choose. Then make him yellow, because that's his favorite color. Or it could all be yellow. Yeah, just somewhere on the wall. Somewhere on the wall, there's a chalk drawing. Just over the bricks. Love his hand reaching out to her, but not quite making it. Let's call that a deliberate story choice. Let's call that a deliberate narrative decision. Oh, whoops. I think with the colors is better. He can have colorful chalk. She made it with magic, so he can have it. She spoiled him. He must be spoiled periodically or he'll die. If he is not spoiled periodically, he will die. All right, there's a drawing for you. Let's see, what else can we do? Thinking emoji. Thinking emoji. Are you attached to this boy? He's a grown man, by the way. He's an adult. It's just from when he was little. I wonder. Age like a normal human? Yes. And this is... Ooh, okay, back into writing.
In every way that matters. In every way that matters. Let's see. Like a human. Oh, whoops. Like a normal human. I get hung up on my A's sometimes. It's been changing a little bit. Normally when I do my A's, I do it like this. But I've been falling into this habit of doing it like that lately. It's kind of changing again. My handwriting changes every now and then. Like a normal human. In every way that matters. Like he has no special abilities. He has no weaknesses that are unique to his experience of life. He has no strengths. Like in every way, he's a human other than the fact that he does not have a belly button. The only thing that sets him apart from humans is that he doesn't have a belly button. His belly's just flat. No navel. I'll just do it like this. Yeah, that's the only difference. Well, yeah, he doesn't have a belly button because here's the thing. The reason we have a belly button is because when before we're babies, right? Before we're born, when we're forming in the body, we're in the womb and we're connected by something called the umbilical cord. And we get our belly button when we're cut from the womb, when the umbilical cord is cut. The belly button is kind of what's left behind. And so because he never was in a womb, you know, she never got pregnant. He didn't have a traditional birth. He was invented in a cauldron. So he doesn't have a belly button. That's the one thing that sets him apart. In every other way, by every other appearance and in every other metric, he's just a normal person. And narratively, what makes this interesting is that he does not consider himself to be a normal person. He considers himself to be something entirely different. And his goal is to like really learn how to become human. He wants to be human, but he already is. And he doesn't quite appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's because that's the, oh, is it lagging? Oh no, wait, is this on my end? Oh my gosh, it is on my end. I just dropped a bunch of frames. What did you miss? Here, I'll just repeat it. Thank you for waiting. Refresh if you haven't. Okay, wait here. I'll type it too. I have to move my keyboard whenever I draw though. I live. Okay. Anyway, as for what I was saying, what was I saying? So, in every way that matters, by all appearances, by every metric, he is just a normal human. He just doesn't have a belly button. Despite this, he does not consider himself to be a normal human. He thinks he's something different. And the goal that he's been given, conveyed from his mother through her familiar to him, is to learn what it really means to be human. And in his interpretation of that, it's, he's taking that and he's thinking, I'm not human, so I need to learn how to become human. I need to learn how to pretend to be human, something like that, right? Somewhere in that territory, like really unhealthy mindsets of like, how can I be human? Because I'm not right now. I'm some monster. I'm some invention. When in actuality, from the beginning, he's always been human. He already is human. He was just born in a different way than normal. That's his plight, and that's why he's there, and that's why he speaks with people and socializes and stuff, and like does everything he does. His goal is to learn humanity, even though he already has it. Yeah, that's my thought, and that's what makes it important that he's a homunculus. I didn't just make him a homunculus just because. I wanted it to have some sense of connection.
specifically to the fact that I'm gonna have to push myself to interact with people because I'm scared. There's part of me that just wants to like log into the server and run far away from the starting village and just build my own little tower and invite nobody to it and just spend the whole playthrough by myself. I don't want to do that though. It's like there's this part of me that wants it to happen, but what I actually want is the opposite. Would he tell others that he's a homunculus? Maybe, if the setting was right. Like I said, as far as what other players see, I'm probably going to go the entire playthrough without sharing any of that with them. As far as like what they see and what I'll show on stream, it'll probably just be like, you know, he's just wandering around and picking up odd jobs and just doing whatever catches his attention. Because he's aimless and directionless, he's just lost everything, you know? Yeah, I don't know that I'd share that unless the setting is right, because even if I'm giving him this big, rich lore, because I love to write lore and I love storytelling, and I'd love to give you that kind of backdrop to what I'm doing, this is meant to be a fun playthrough, right? So every interaction needs to be fun and funny. So realistically, probably not. But maybe. Maybe. And realistically, here's the thing. All the players should know, or will have access to the fact that he's a homunculus. But one of the rules of the roleplay is that we should not metagame. So if it is not given to them, then they should not even ask a question about it, realistically. Yeah. Again? Oh my gosh. I see it. Oh man. I see it this time. How can I fix this? Pain. Evil. So sad. I think I'm back. Okay. I think I live. You can't avoid these. These, unfortunately, it just happens. So here's the thing. I don't know when it started, but yeah. TLDR, I'm giving him a serious setting and a serious backdrop, but the playthrough should be very, very fun. And realistically, while he might answer somebody if he was asked about it, they should have no reason to even suspect it. Because one of the first big rules of roleplay in this server is no metagaming, which means that your character cannot have any knowledge that they would not naturally discover on their own. So like, the only realistic scenario where somebody might suspect he's a homunculus ever is if, you know, he takes his shirt off and they see that he doesn't have a belly button, which will never happen. It's not coming off. There's no reason for it to. Plus, I didn't make a shirtless skin, and I'd have to leave the game to switch skins, so that's just not going to happen. So realistically, am I alive? Oh my god, why? What? Why? Wait, am I back? Am I alive? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh my goodness, I have no idea what just happened. I suspect that somebody may have reset the router, like one of my family members, but I'm not sure, and I'm gonna have to confirm that with them. They know not to do that when I'm live, and I don't know why they would, so. But yeah, when I was gonna go in and reset it, but when I went in, it had already stabilized, like it does when it's been reset. Okay, hold on, let me get you back. And get your little box back so I can see everything you have to say again. Ah, how annoying. So frustrating when that happens. Oh my goodness. Well, this is new. Oh no, I can't win! I just can't win! I can't have anything! What's the deal here? Oh my... Oh! No, here's the thing. This is the craziest part. I'm not lagging. My connection is great. My camera's broken now. Oh, this is insane. Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna close my camera and open it again. Classic unplug and then plug it back in approach. That's so unfortunate. Thank you for being so patient with me when this happens. It's been a while, honestly. I deserve for everything to go this wrong today because I've had it too good for too long. What's the deal with this? Oh my gosh. Why is my camera broken now? What is the cause? Maybe, okay, hold on. Just imagine me scheming. Imagine me scheming out the corner of your eye. Here, I'll at least give you a full view of everything while I'm dying. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Everything's broken. Don't deserve. No, that's not what I meant. I meant like this is just equilibrium. Because I don't know if you remember when it was still early, when, like just immediate post debut, the first few months, this was happening like every stream. Like it was regular. It was routine even. And we've been going a pretty long while without it happening at all. So it's kind of like I've taken all the issues that I would have had for the last 2 or 3 months where I haven't had these issues, and now I'm getting all of them at once. Yeah. Okay. Maybe now. Why? Why? Oh, why, oh, why? Why is it like this? Why, oh, why? Oh, I think I fixed it. Oh, okay. I figured it out. Hold on. Okay. Yes. I live. I'm alive. Hi. Sorry about that. Just pretend none of that ever happened. Thank you for waiting for me. Yeah, that's one real way to celebrate the half anniversary. Isn't that nostalgic? Just throw back to when I was having tech issues like these every other stream. When I could not go a full 3 hours without dropping off. Or like having every program crash. Oh yeah, I grabbed my coat while I was down there. I was feeling cold. Grab my coat. Yeah, I don't know. I realized it because, you know, a couple hours have passed. A few hours have passed since we started this, and in that time, the sun is set, so it's gotten colder out. Which means it's also colder in. Our coat. I think you mean my coat. If you're ever in possession of this coat, it means you are borrowing it, all right? I'm the proud owner of this coat. It's one of my prized possessions. All right, let's just continue. Let's pretend none of that ever happened. Oh my goodness. All right. What should we draw next? What are we missing? What do we need? What can I do to fill in these gaps? What else could I do? I got a limited amount of time, but Sino Mama gave it to us? No. Sino Mama lent it to you. Yeah. Not give to keep, just give to borrow. If anything, it kind of looked more like you took it from me. My coat. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. now, which means that around 30 minutes, I can enter like 30-minute chat section. Okay, let's see. So, let's establish what I want to do. I need to figure out his goal, and I've got a few ideas, and I could honestly just keep it open even after today. I just want to have a general idea. So, when it comes to how I want to apply this to the Enchanted roleplay server, and like what I want to do. There's a ton of gameplay stuff. This could be one of a few things. Magic. I could dedicate myself to learning the magic system. Part of me, I'm really curious to see how it works, and I would kind of like to reach a Vitruvius-esque level in competence and power. And that could be pretty fun, right? It could be pretty fun to study a bunch, and then his goal, which never realistically it would never actually be actualized in the roleplay, but his goal could be to to learn enough magic that he can find her, like I mentioned before, right? Maybe she's missing an action, she's been sent to some other dimension and she can't find her way back, she's been depleted of her energy or something. Alternatively, something I personally really love, and I know for fact, how do I articulate this? Magic, I might enjoy it. There is a strong chance that I would enjoy it, but there's a chance that I wouldn't. The next one, I would 100% enjoy it if I did it. I could just go all in on being a farmer and just living on a little farm. It could be that, given this freedom, he decides that he just wants to live a simple life. He just wants to live simple and have a comfy little home, and maybe have a couple animals there with him, and maybe he just wants everybody to be fed, doesn't want anybody to go hungry. What else is there? This is the fusion of ideas, right? I mentioned that I had 2 ideas in the past when I was talking about maybe joining. First idea was to play as this guy, as Calvin, and just live in total isolation in a witch tower, really, really far away from the village where everybody lives. How can I articulate this better in the drawing? Say that like this is where everybody's houses are, and this is where everybody's living. My intention was like make him super far away on a little tower, just totally isolated from everybody else. My second thought was to play as an entirely different guy and live right in the center of the action, either in a house that's in the main village or as a guest in an inn, which I imagine there probably will be one. In which case he could become a bard. To tie this into character and stuff, right? It could be the case that one of the things he loved most about Madeline was the lullabies that she would sing. Maybe she had a nice singing voice and would sing with him sometimes. And as a bard, this creates a big sense of pressure to be there in the center of the action. This was the second idea that I had. I was teetering between 1 and 2, with this being 1. The second was to just be a different guy and to have that guy be a bard. But I could fuse it and make it so that this guy is a bard. Here's the thing with it being like a bard. Actually, I kind of want to keep this little drawing. I sketched it, but I kind of like it. I think that being a bard would make for funnier moments and better memories. E.g., I might improvise songs on the spot. However, my threshold for how much I can play might go down a lot. I might get really overwhelmed. And I might get a little nervous. And here's another thing I worry about. Being a bard would kind of entail being the loudest person in the room sometimes, which in the right setting, I don't mind to be, but I try to be mindful of how often I am the loudest person in the room. I hesitate to do something that might push me into the position of being the loudest person the most often. You know what I mean? Especially in a room full of the loudest people in the room, right? Because there's a big collab with a lot of content creators. So I think there's appeal to all 3. And I'm not particularly it's kind of it would be more accurate to write it in a different order. I could put it in a scale. Actually, no, I feel like this is kind of the right scale already.
I could put it in multiple scales. I could put it on multiple scales. So one scale would be personal indulgence. Like if you plot it on an infinite number line. To the left would be like just what I personally enjoy. Like just what I would like to do and what I would enjoy. And then on the right, it would be funny streamer. These are things that I would still enjoy, to be clear. I would still enjoy it. However, it would be more with like making funny moments in mind, like more for you, right? So over here, it would be farmer. I'll just do letters. It would be farmer here on the far left. It would be mage in the center. And it would be bard on the right. Though you could technically switch farmer and mage depending on how it was executed. And then there's also, you know, I could take like Luca's approach. Or like other people's approach as well. I'm not actually sure exactly what Luca's doing or what others are doing, but I could take the approach of just being an all-rounder, you know? Just figuring it out as I go. Reading the room and seeing what happens. Yeah, mage and farmer could also be combined. They could be combined into one. Like have my little tower and then surround it with crops. Yeah, I kind of feel farmer mage though. Kind of feel farmer mage. Also, when I think about him, like when I think about his personality that we've written into this story, and when I think about like everything that he's got, I feel like he'd be more inclined to these, right? Even if he's curious, and even if I want him to be very fun and silly and sociable, I feel like this kind of makes more sense, like even just aesthetically, right? But here's the other thing to consider. I want my character to be unique in some way. I think there's going to be a lot of this and a lot of this. I don't think there's going to be much of this. And so that makes me, you know, that makes me kind of want to prioritize it, you know, be the one to do it. Because if nobody's going to do it, then, you know. So tough. So tough. Yeah, right. I'm conflicted. I'm genuinely conflicted. I've been thinking about this for the last week. Because, you know, something else I could do is I could merge these together, maybe. I could make him a bard who, rather than having a farm, he could have a small garden. Like a small, sustainable garden. And he could tavern hop for fun. Or, you know, if I don't want to go to the trouble of building a house, which I love to design houses, but it's such a hassle to get the materials for it and to build it, like to assemble everything in survival mode. I like building in creative more. If I don't want to do that, I could even just, you know, just go on bard and then rely on other people to like give me a room to sleep in. Since I imagine people will do like taverns and inns and stuff. If I was like, hey, can I stay a night in your tavern? They'd be like, oh, of course, Calvin. You know what I mean? Doshio. All right, I'm going to make a poll, but note that I'm not necessarily going to go by the result of the poll. So please don't just go for what you think I would like. Go for what you personally think would be best, okay? And again, I won't necessarily go in this direction. I'm just curious to see what you think, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff I gotta prioritize. And I may mix and match it based on just how things turn out, but yeah. Just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. And for example, if it ends up being like tied in two directions, that could be two that I combine. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Enchanted does have pre-made houses. I do not want to use it. I don't want to use those pre-made houses because everybody else is going to use them. I need it to be different if I'm going to have a house. I would build my own tower from scratch, or like my own little hole in the ground from scratch. It needs to be mine, you know? Yeah, I kind of expected this. So it's good that it affirms what I was expecting. So nervous though. It could be here's another thing, because it would not be very natural for him to step out this gate knowing nothing about the world and to immediately become a bard, right? It could be more like the end goal is bard. It could be like he comes out just as a neutral, like a wanderer, and over the course of interacting with people and seeing everything happen, that's when he becomes a bard. And honestly, that would make more sense in terms of timing and in terms of the just basic video game experience of this server, right? Because when I walk through the gate, there's not going to be a single tavern. There's not going to be a single inn. He's not going to have anywhere to sing or anything to write about because nothing will have happened yet and nobody will have built anything yet. That'll happen over the first few days. So it might be a better idea to just have him start as a neutral. And it could even be a situation where I like, because you remember, it didn't really get to pan out like I had intended for it to because there just wasn't anybody else playing anymore. I was too late. But in Enchanted 1, something I did is I wandered a bit further away and I claimed a generated house, like an NPC house. I might do that because honestly, I think that's what he might do in this setting. He might step through the gate and he's going to, you know, he didn't know what's going on. He's going to look for shelter. And that would give people time to build their houses and build their establishments, build their taverns and inns. And by that point, you know, things will happen and I can join it. That way I have a place to sleep and I don't have to build a house. Because if I went all in on Bard, here's the thing. If I went all in on Bard, I would not want him to have a house. Because my personal vision of a Bard is someone that like bar hops. My vision of a Bard is someone that is like sleeping wherever they will let him if he sings. This is the kind of vibe I like. It was kind of a similar vibe I was going for with Kale, where I was just renovating something to become like an inn that he was staying at and keeping it filled with villagers so that it had the illusion that it was not his house, even though I was making it mine. Yeah, I think I may not lock it in today. I just wanted to like be very open with you about what I'm thinking and what I'm considering and hear back from you. So I appreciate your input. It seems like magic is something of interest too, though. And that makes a lot of sense. See, there are things to consider here. I mentioned there were multiple ways to categorize and sort these, right? The first scale that I did was on a basis of personal indulgence versus what would be funny. But you can even separate these into 3 separate categories that are not on a scale. This one would make the most sense for his story. Like if I wanted to get really big into the roleplay for you specifically. Again, for you specifically, because like I mentioned before, I would not actually show much of any of this. Like all this stuff, the other players would not see or hear about any of it. Any story for that part is for you specifically, and I would willingly roleplay in it alone. Like whenever I'm separated from other players, I'd have moments where I talk in character and stuff like that. But that is the story choice. This is the Kaelix choice. This is me just wanting to turn every game I play into a farming sim. This one has next to no bearing on his personality or his story, and it's also not particularly interesting. But it would make for some cozy Zatsudan gaming streams. You know what I mean? It'd be a game that I could play to relax and to chat with you while I farm and stuff. And it could be like just kind of almost pseudo creative mode version of this experience. It makes no sense for his character at all, but it's the Kaelix choice. This is the funny choice. This one It has also next to no bearing on his story. Very, very little, like it barely fits in with his character at all. But it would be entertaining, and it would be best suited to the fact that there are tons of players, more than I'll realistically see in a collab for a long time. I think if I go with Bard, I mentioned that I might find an NPC structure and reclaim it, but something else. I've had a couple players already be that, because I mentioned that I was nervous. I've had a couple players say that if I wanted to, I could just cling to them for a bit or live with them even. So I could do that too. I could just like stay with somebody else at first. If he's a bard but he sings off key, that'd be pretty great. Oh my goodness, that would be pretty good. I wonder if I could come up with enough rhymes on the spot too. I wonder if I could do that. My vision, if I go with Bard, is to aspire to something similar to you know that guy from the States SMP that everybody's obsessed with, specifically the Rich versus Poor Minecraft playthrough, 1,000 players. I kind of want to be that guy. I want to reheat his nachos. Down in the mine. Minecraft parody. Oh my god, wait, imagine this. Bard in Minecraft, but he only sings Minecraft parodies. Like every song incorporates words like creeper and TNT and diamonds and mining. Like it all uses in-game items, creatures, and terms. Could you imagine? That'd be so goofy. That would be so freaking goofy. And again, I will say it has next to nothing to do with his character at all. And it basically strikes from the record the fact that she exists. You know, she's very closely connected to the magic timeline for him. This hypothetical scenario where he's just learning magic so that he can find her. However, this would be so freaking funny, and this is what the other players will actually see. You know what I mean? I want everybody to have fun, and I want to have fun with everybody. This, as much as I love it and as invested as I am in it, is a very personal approach, like a very almost private approach. I could make it funny if I did it like Vox did it, for example. Magical bard. Technically, bards are magic casters in Dungeons and Dragons. Like their songs are spells. It could be like that. Wait, maybe that's the maybe that's the approach. Maybe. All right. I don't believe that in Enchanted's magic system. I don't believe that in the game's magic system, in the mod pack's magic system, that there is a bardic magic tree. But I could pretend. And whenever I cast spells, maybe I could sing. Like imagine Vox's famous spell that I won't name because I don't use that word. But as you're casting it, you sing a note or two, and then everything explodes. That could be pretty funny. And it could be the way, maybe that's the path to lead him to Bard. Because here's the thing, I'm at odds with myself right now. I'm leaning more and more into this the more we think about it, because it would be really fun. Even if I'm nervous, I want to get over my nervousness. I say it all the time, and I try to practice what I preach in general. I think if you're nervous for something, it's better to just push yourself to get through it however you can. But I'm at odds with wanting it to make sense with all of this. I want her to be important to his character, even if it's not seen by the other players, because you see it, right? I want you to have a good experience too. And I know that, or at least you tell me sometimes that you get invested in things like stories. Anytime I mention it, or like you'll sometimes ask if I'm ever willing to share my writing, which I won't. So this is kind of like a way for me to do that, but also have fun, right? Maybe the path is that he has this goal and it remains his overarching goal, right? He enters the world and his first priority is to start studying magic so that he can someday find her. But in his pursuit of learning magic, he discovers bardic magic. He discovers it on his path, maybe. And then and eventually he starts training that. Even though you can't actually do it in game, I can pretend. It's roleplay. Maybe that's the path. And then by that point, enough will have happened that I can actually behave like a bard, you know? That might be the way. And if I start studying magic and like building a tower and stuff, or like moving into a tower, I can also have a little farm. So that could be the way to have all three, actually. I could be a magic caster with a little garden outside my place who gradually learns about bardic magic. Okay, thank you for the reminder, by the way. Thank you for the 30-minute reminder. Good timing too. Okay. So let me clean this up. Can I maybe I should just erase it, honestly. That'd be faster than just undoing. I love to undo things when I can, because then I don't mess anything up. All right. Let's document this really quick. Then we'll start to wrap up for today and get you ready for the cover premiere. Ooh. Okay. Studying. He studies. Okay. Magic. Thank you so much for your input, by the way. You're such a big help. I appreciate that more than you know. That's why I decided to do this live. I was originally going to figure out all of this and just surprise it with you the day we start tomorrow, but I wanted you to be involved in the decision since I was really torn. So I appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much. Studying magic. So actually, no, I'm going to break it here. So he can find Madeline. Eventually, he'll become a bard. He becomes a bard. Yippee! And then a note for her. M-I-A. Sent. Okay, wait, no. I'll just say in another dimension. No. Lost in another dimension. Yippee! She's stuck in the abyss. Actually, no, I kind of like that. Hold on. Hold on. She's stuck in the abyss. Boom. Noctix mention. All right. We got our lore. I got a little sketch of what might be his tower someday. I want it to be somewhere that's like, it's a little removed from the village, but you can still see the village and access it easily from the tower. That's my goal. I may change that direction as we actually start playing. I want to kind of play certain things by ear. I want to have a game plan, but I don't want to go in with a rigid plan, you know? I want to be able to transform it as I need to. Okay, so TLDR, just in case you weren't here or in case you don't feel like sitting through everything that we went through today. Calvin is a homunculus. Wait, do I have my... Can you actually see it if I... Hold on. Can you see where I'm pointing? Maybe if I make it... Ooh, I know what to do. Hold on. I know a way to make you see it really clearly. Because I know that you can see like the vague outline of my pen. One thing I can do is I can do... Hold on. I got an idea. Presentation mode, all right? All right. So, this is Calvin. Oh, whoops. 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 Okay. This is Calvin. He's a homunculus. He was made... Whoa. Oh, whoops. He was made by this lady. Her name is Madeline. Back where they came from... Whoa. Oh, whoops. Back... Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So this is Calvin. He's a homunculus. He was made by Madeline. Back where they come from, in their home world. She was called Madeline the Heartless because, among many other atrocities that she committed, she gave her heart to a monster. She entered a contract with a monster in exchange for her heart. It gave her eternal youth and eternal vitality. An eternal life. Like, she'll live forever and she'll look young forever. She was labeled a monster by the people. Evil, did a bunch of evil things as a result. Lost compassion for humanity, lost empathy as well. So she sequestered herself into this tiny little tower in the middle of the forest, cast a spell on the forest so that nobody could reach the inside. Anyone that enters the forest just finds themselves back where they came from. And conversely, people that try to leave this area just find themselves back in the area. Created this confined area, and she lived there alone for a while. And then she created this guy. As I mentioned, he's a homunculus. He was not born. She did not get pregnant. There's no father in the picture at all. Single mother. She invented him using alchemy and magic in a cauldron. Made by an evil witch. She's the evil witch. He loves naps. He loves to sleep. Now, he is a homunculus, but in every way that matters, he's just like a normal human. He's just a normal guy. However, he doesn't quite believe he's a normal guy. He thinks he's something a little different, and he's a little insecure about it, actually. So he may be a little, like, unassured. He may be a little insecure in certain areas, certain interactions. He may be a little unsure of himself. He grows up. He's raised by this lady from childhood. He was just a little baby boy. You know, he grew up just like a normal human, just without a belly button. And over the years, he notices some things are weird, and he asks her questions but doesn't get answers. Namely, he notices that like whenever he goes to her when he's a little kid, whenever he goes to see her at night because he has a nightmare, if he brings his head anywhere near her chest, he doesn't hear a heartbeat. Her skin's super cold. He gets curious as to why there's like no other people around, and why he can't see anybody else, and why when he ventures into the forest, he never sees anybody. He wonders if it's just them in the world. She never gives him any good answers on these questions. Very important questions, right? And by the time he's in his early 20s, honestly, maybe even just year 20, 20th birthday, he asks her why she made him, why he was created. He asks why he exists. And they have a big fight over it, and she storms off. She storms off in a frenzy and closes the door behind her, and she never comes back. He waits about a year for her, I'd say he waits about a year. There's nobody there. He tries to leave a couple times, but every time, you know, he just finds himself back at the tower. The spell's still active. So he just lives his life on his own. There's still some familiars around. She's got these little familiar guys. Keep him company. Clean up after the house. Give him food when he needs it. But yeah, otherwise, you know, he's just waiting around. And then after a year of waiting... Oops. After a year of waiting... the door finally opens, but she's not on the other side. This little guy is on the other side, one of her familiars. It relays to him that she has fallen in battle. She's not necessarily dead, but she's been closed inside a portal and sent to a different dimension, and in the process, sapped of all of her power. So she's not able to get herself back like she normally would have been able to. She was bested by something, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure what. He's not exactly sure what either. It's that kind of setting where the viewer knows just as much as the character, right? But yeah, he's told that she's gone, and her last message that she sent this little guy. Sorry, she sent this little guy to tell him. She told him to live for himself and to learn what it means to be human.
And in that very moment, because it's carrying like these little minions can't talk. Her familiars can't talk. This is my vision. She sends him along with a crystal that plays kind of like a recording, almost like a digital recording, but it's magic, right? Kind of like that one scene in Sword Art Online that makes you cry that's got Saori Hayami in it. My favorite Seiyu. I love her. It's kind of like that moment. She sends it with a crystal and a message of her voice. Her last message is to live for himself, learn what it means to be human. The crystal shatters. He never hears her voice again. And a gate opens, a portal opens right in front of the door. He steps through and he finds himself in the world of Enchanted. His goal is to study magic so that someday he can find her. He wants to open a gate to the dimension that she's stuck in. And he wants to bring her back because, you know, he had a lot of resentment towards the end. Everybody goes through that stage in their late teens and early like young adulthood. He had some resentment, but you know, he loves her. That's his mother. He wants to bring her back. And over the course of studying magic, he discovers bardic magic. He's actually very fond of singing because they used to sing together, and she would always sing him the most beautiful lullabies. And that's the path for VCraft Enchanted. Mind you, this is a 2-week, 1.5 week Minecraft SMP. I just really, I got a little too into the lore when I was thinking about it off stream. So this is what you get. I got a little too into it. Is he also immortal? No. In every single way that matters, he's just a regular human being. He ages, he grows, and eventually he will die just like a normal person. Namely because, I didn't get into this in my recap. I got into this earlier, but he does not, like, he's not made a contract with any monsters like she has. You have to give something of serious humane value to a monster in order to have something like eternal life in this world that I'm building here. Hi, Zeal. Sorry you had to see me like this. Yeah, Calvin's real. He's real. I got a little too into the lore. This is his mommy. She invented him in a cauldron. He's a homunculus, and she's stuck in the abyss. His goal is to learn magic so that he can bring her back. Ultimately, in this Minecraft SMP, in this SMP RP playthrough, she will never show up. He will never find her. Because this is just a week and a half, and this is just a goofy Minecraft playthrough. But I got a little invested, so this is what we got. This is the little tower they lived in. I think he might live in a similar tower in the future, but I haven't decided yet. But yeah, he's gonna study magic, and eventually he's gonna discover bardic magic is the goal. I might change my mind. I might chicken out. I might get shy, but that's my goal. That's my little guy. He's real. He exists. We've established the game plan and the lore. I win. Yeah. I hope you can enjoy when the time comes. Again though, this is just a goofy Minecraft playthrough, and even if he is like a little poorly socialized, if he's not properly socialized, even if he's a little off, I still intend to play him as super friendly and goofy and silly, because that's just his natural personality. I imagine like even with her being stone cold and a little creepy, I personally imagine that they have a lot of memories where he's the one laughing. You know what I mean? I kind of imagine her as that stone cold authority, and he's kind of the dim-witted servant almost. Kind of like the Kronk to her Yzma. You know what I mean? That's my intention. Except they're also related, and she invented him. She made him with blood and also nothing else. Blood and magic. She transmuted a drop of her blood into an embryo. Yeah. But he doesn't have any of her powers or anything. He doesn't know how to do magic, but he served her as a thrall, like he was an assistant. So he watched her study magic, but he's never performed it himself. He wasn't allowed to. Do I think she actually cared for him, or is that spoilers? I will leave it open-ended. I will leave her motives open to you, up to your interpretation, and honestly, up to my interpretation. I personally don't want to confirm it because that makes it boring to me. She may have made him because she was lonely in this tower and she missed the affection of like having a family, because, you know, in being labeled a monster by all people, she lost her family in the act of that. She didn't have a family anymore, so it could be that she was lonely. It could be that she just wanted to see if it was possible because there was no recorded history of a homunculus successfully being created. It could also be that, you know, she just wanted an assistant. She just wanted somebody to do her extra stuff for her, or like, you know, to hold her books and stuff. It could be any of these things. It could be some secret fourth thing. It's up to your interpretation. All I will say and all I will confirm for anybody, including me, is that she invented him and now he's real. Yeah. But you're free to interpret the fact that, yeah, she ultimately did send her last, possibly her dying words to him. So there is a chance that she cares for him. But there's also this question, right? Can someone without a heart really care for anybody? Can somebody without a heart care for anybody? Could she possibly care for him if she even wanted to? I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. I realize we're out of time now, but I wanna clean up her skin a little bit. I didn't fill her in as much as I filled in Calvin. Yeah, it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to determine whether a heartless person is capable of love. And if you're torn, that's how I want you to feel. I'll tell you though, the people of their world made up their mind fast. It was the highest taboo. Yeah, she also doesn't dream. She gave up her dreams and nightmares, so she doesn't have dreams. She may not even sleep. I haven't decided that. She may lay in bed to pretend to sleep, but I don't think she needs it. She's beyond anything human in more ways than one. So does she still count as a human, you know? I wanted them to be kind of foils of each other, right? Perfect individual who has basically stripped herself of her own humanity in pursuit of knowledge and power, versus ordinary human who is convinced that he is not human because of the way he was created, but ultimately is just, you know, he's a human. He was just born differently. I wanted them to parallel each other and also to contrast each other. Like, I make it sound like she was a decent human and had something happen resulting for her to have fingers pointed at her? Yes. I mentioned this in detail earlier, and I think I'll do an extensive recap before we play tomorrow, once I lock in some more lore. But to recap that part too, when she was younger, she actually first started studying magic and all kinds of other things, specifically so that she could make life better for people. She worked really hard to study things like science and magic and even architecture, and things that could improve trade and agriculture. She wanted to improve the life of her poor village and eventually the life of everybody around the world, or just around like the local nations. She had very noble intentions in the start, but her intentions twisted over the years and gradually pointed towards just the selfish desire to learn more. She became a glutton for knowledge. Or so it appears, at least, by all appearances. So much so that she was even willing to trade away her own heart. She gave up her heart. And when the people labeled her a monster, I imagine she acted out. I imagine she decided to be a monster if they decided she was one. I imagine she did some bad stuff, like actually bad stuff, like at the expense of others, bad stuff. But I will not detail it right now. Okay, I can't keep drawing. I need to get out of here. I'll think about posting this on social media later, maybe. I haven't decided yet if I will. I kind of want to just keep it between us, you know. And excuse me, I have a hiccup now. I hate when I get hiccups. Maybe any other players that take the time to look, but yeah, I'd prefer for it to just kind of be like, this is for your gaze, right? This is for your experience of the playthrough. Yeah. So I hope you can enjoy. Thank you for brainstorming with me. And thank you for sitting through all my lore thoughts. I realize this is way more than is necessary for a silly Minecraft playthrough, but I really enjoy this stuff, and I love the excuse to do it and to share it with you, so I'm happy I could have you here with me. Okay, let's start to wrap up. I'm gonna get out of here, otherwise I'm not gonna have enough time to get ready. Okay, so, whoa. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna send you to a cover premiere. Yeah, I'm gonna cover. I have a cover. There's a cover. Yippee! I'm really excited. So as I mentioned, Avogadria will be having as a group of 4 our very first and also our very last cover as a group of 4. Zeal got into this idea in his own stream recently, but anything else that happens from here on out, like potentially between Maria, Zeal, and me, that's not Abigadweab anymore. So this is kind of like the kind of canonizing, but also sending off Abigadweab. You know what I mean? That premieres here in just like 10 minutes, and there will be an after party after that's over. So we can we can hang out and talk about it after if you want. So yeah, I'm gonna send you there now, so you'll have like 10 minutes to get ready if you want to like can grab a bite to eat or anything. I think I need to grab a bite to eat, and I think we also have to set up the after party properly. So I'll check in with you again in a bit. All right. As for streams for the rest of the week, expect a bunch of Minecraft over the next few days. I may do a double stream day on one of those days, so we can do something that's not Minecraft, but I can still be there actively for the first few days, because I think that's the most important part to be there for. You want to be there at the very beginning, and you want to be there at any events in the middle, and you want to be there at the very end. Those are the important parts to be there for. So yeah, expect some Minecraft for the next few days. Maybe something special on Friday. Maybe not. It depends on timing. I'm still waiting back on confirmation. Nonetheless, something special on Saturday. That's when I'm planning to celebrate with By the Beat. That's when we've decided to schedule time to hang out together to celebrate our half anniversary. I'll keep you posted as I can, but for now I'll remain auriful and mysterious. All right, I'm gonna send you off now. It's been real. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Have a good meal when you can. Love forever. Bye-bye. Junjo nani so like